Good afternoon and welcome to the New York City Council hearing of the Committee on Veterans. At this time, can everybody please silence your cell phones? If you wish to testify, please go to the back of the room to fill out a testimony slip. Written testimony can be emailed to testimony@council.nyc.gov. Once again, that is testimony@council.nyc.gov. At this time and going forward, no one is to approach the dais. I repeat, no one is to approach the dais. Chair, we are ready to begin.
Thank you, Sergeant. I'm Councilmember Robert Holden, Chair of the Committee on Veterans. Good morning, everyone. Today's oversight hearing on connecting veterans with arts and culture opportunities is a very important oversight hearing. This is a vital but often overlooked aspect of supporting our veteran community, and it's a topic that resonates with me personally, given my background in the arts. In addition to our oversight discussion, we will consider 7 important pieces of legislation. It's the most pieces of legislation we've had on this committee. Resolution 18, sponsored by Councilmember Vicky Palladino, calling on the Department of Education to observe Veterans Day on Friday before November 11th, if it falls on a Saturday or Monday, or the Monday after it falls on a Sunday. So if you can figure that one out, we just want to make sure that we have a 3-day weekend for our veterans. So it doesn't just, if it falls on a Saturday, we don't have an off day. So this is something I think is good because it actually honors our veterans even more. So Resolution 311, which I sponsored, urging New York State to establish a property tax exemption for veterans with 100% service-connected disability. This legislation, already passed by the State Senate, would ease financial burdens on disabled veterans as they transition to civilian life. Very, very important bill in the Assembly, so that's why we have to do a resolution to call on the Assembly to pass this. Resolution 465, sponsored by Councilmember Joanne Ariola, calling on the New York City Housing Authority to include an admission preference for veterans in its next proposed agency plan. That's a resolution, again, calling on NYCHA. Introduction 686, which I have sponsored, to better support veteran street vendors by expanding representation on the advisory board and improving access to critical information on agency websites. Intro 687, which I've also sponsored, to waive commissary permit fees for operators reserving spaces for veteran food vendors. Very, very important law that's being introduced and being heard today. Introduction 688, which I have sponsored, to provide additional time for veteran service organizations, VSOs, to address non-urgent building violations, helping them maintain facilities that serve our veteran community. And that bill has been this issue has been a problem for a long time, where veterans are trying to keep the VSOs open. They usually have a bunch of obstacles, and when they get hit with fines, that could sometimes be the last straw, and then sometimes they close or sell the building, and that's a loss for every veteran in the city. So we want to try to give more cure periods for building violations. It seems like a no-brainer, but it is a law introduced in the council, and we hope to, like I said, hear it today and get it passed in the near future. And finally, Intro 759, sponsored by Councilmember Ariola, to provide critical rental assistance to homeless veterans. Again, a bill that's common sense and should be law, but it isn't. So we need to obviously introduce that and have that heard in the City Council. So I'm going to turn it over once we get a quorum. I could then hear our colleagues Joanne Ariola and Vicky Palladino on Zoom. Right now we're prohibited from that because we don't have a quorum yet. So I just want to talk about today's topic, which like I said earlier, was near and dear to me, connecting veterans with arts and culture opportunities. I think that's a critical, sometimes overlooked aspect that this committee hasn't heard, by the way, at least in my tenure. but it's a very important aspect because it is what it does for veterans. There's so many ways it could make them feel more part of a community. It could also make them find their passion, their love. And when you think that, obviously when you go through the arts, and I've done that as a graphic designer and as a arts major in not only high school but in college and beyond, that it really saved me as a person, the arts, because I felt in my junior year in high school, my arts teacher said, you have a talent and you should go to college. And I wasn't planning to go to college for any area, but he told me, he says, you have something in the arts, and that my career blossomed from there, and it can save you. It could make you obviously feel self-worth, that you have something to offer, and like I said, you become part of a community and make new friends and so forth and have new horizons. So I can't understate how important it is to explore the arts that can uplift veterans, their families, and caregivers. Across the city, there's some remarkable organizations. They're already making a difference, and I'll just name a few. The Theater Development Fund's Veterans Theater Going Program, Exit 12 Dance Company, Decruit, another organization, does great work. Poetic Theater Productions, Guitar for Veterans, I can go on and on. There's so many good arts programs. And programs like these not only foster creativity, like I said, in healing, but also builds a sense of community and purpose, like I mentioned. So I look forward to hearing from DVS and the leaders of these organizations for their inspiring work and how we can better support their efforts in the council. So at this time I would like to acknowledge my colleague here today, Christy Marmorato, the council member from the Bronx. Thank you for being here. And I also want to thank our dedicated committee staff for their hard work in preparing for today's hearing. John LaRosa to my right at Legislative Councils does great work and valuable research. So again, I want to thank him. And Regina Paul, a policy analyst who comes up with amazing ideas for our hearings and research. Ross Goldstein, financial analyst, and my chief of staff, Daniel Kazina. He's talking in the back of the room right now. So, with that, I'll turn it over to our legislative council to administer the oath to our witnesses from the administration.
Please raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this committee, and to respond honestly to council members' questions? I do. Thank you. As a reminder to all of our witnesses, please state your name prior to your testimony for the record.
Thank you so much, and happy holidays, everybody.
Before you start, I was told that Councilmember Ariola is on Zoom along with Councilmember Vicky Palladino.
So, happy holidays, everybody, to those here and joining us on Zoom. Good morning, Chair Holden, committee members, and advocates. My name is James Hendon. I serve as Commissioner of the New York City Department of Veteran Services, or DVS. Thank you for allowing us to testify at today's hearing about arts, culture, and DVS efforts in support of veteran artistic initiatives across the city. I'm joined today by Ellen Greeley, Assistant Commissioner for Policy and Strategic Partnerships, and Curtis Duvall, Digital Communications Manager. In addition to discussing the arts and culture, we look forward to commenting on the following legislative proposals. Intro 686, supporting veteran vendors. Intro 687, waiving permit fees for mobile food unit commissaries that reserve space for veteran vendors. Intro 688, cure periods for certain violations by veteran service organizations. And Intro 959, providing rental assistance to homeless veterans. By way of background, since its inception in 2016, DVS has long recognized the benefits of creative expression in promoting recovery, rehabilitation, and wellness within the military and veteran community. We define the creative arts as all forms of visual and performance art, written and spoken word, dance and movement, music, and other emerging genres. The creative arts provide veterans with a powerful platform to process their experiences, tell their stories, and connect with others in meaningful ways. DVS continues to champion initiatives that expand access to creative arts programs, ensuring that all members of the military and veteran community have the opportunity to experience the transformative power of art. The three needs for culture and arts. Need number one, diverse funding sources. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs has stated creative arts therapies improves cognition, semi-motor functions, emotional resilience, and social and coping skills. Creative arts therapy strives to facilitate veterans' engagement in the community while providing a sense of achievement and channeling energies into productive forms of behavior. In keeping with this spirit, DVS sponsors and amplifies arts-related programs for partner organizations and works with them to secure both private and public sources of funding to make these important causes a reality. DVS has participated in the Public Artists in Residence program, otherwise known as PAIR. Sponsored by the NYC Department of Cultural Affairs, PAIR is a municipal residency program that embeds artists in city government to propose and implement creative solutions to pressing public challenges. Through the PAIR program and other philanthropic offerings, DVS has collaborated with artists in the following ways. DVS partnered with the social design collective's Women Veterans Portrait Project, which printed portraits of local women veterans on paper made from military uniforms. Working with Theater of War Productions, an artistic company that uses leading actors to present dramatic readings of seminal plays, followed by guided discussions about the plays. DVS co-curated 65 Theater of War performances across the 5 boroughs. Productions were held in public libraries, parks, museums, correctional facilities, City Hall, and other locations. Along with PAIR, our partnership with Theater of War was amplified by generous support from the Stavros Niarchos Foundation. DVS collaborated with Decruit, a veteran-led acting company, to recruit veterans to learn Shakespearean verse, write monologue in said verse which addresses personal trauma, and perform in front of an audience of family, friends, community members, and other veterans at the end of the program. DVS's collaboration with Decruit was made possible through funding from the National Endowment for the Arts and later from the Laurie M. Tisch Illumination Fund. Additionally, DVS is leading efforts to establish a post-9/11 Veterans Memorial in Queens, honoring those who made the ultimate sacrifice during the global war on terror. The memorial will be built on the waterfront in the Whitestone neighborhood of Queens, the borough home to the largest number of post-9/11 service members who were killed in action, adjacent to Little Bay Park. DVS, in partnership with the Department of Cultural Affairs' Percent for Art program, is leading a public artist selection process to ensure that the memorial appropriately reflects the bravery and sacrifice of the fallen service members from this generation. Need number two, self-identification. As many of you know, DVS takes the issue of veteran self-identification seriously. To reiterate, according to the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs FY 2023 Gross Domestic Expenditure Report, 34.3% of veterans self-identify nationwide, 29.8% self-identify in New York State, and 24.1% self-identify in New York City. It is critical to acknowledge at this hearing the nexus between arts and cultural activities and measures taken to motivate our brothers and sisters and their loved ones to come out of the shadows. Only when we identify veterans can we connect them with the support and myriad of services that DVS and its city, state, federal, public, private, and nonprofit partners offer. DVS's weekly newsletter, which all are encouraged to view and sign up to receive at nyc.gov/vetnewsletter, maintains a portion dedicated specifically to veterans in the arts. Through the newsletter, we showcase veteran artwork and help support and amplify our artistic community. We create space for veteran artists to express themselves authentically. We believe that actions as seemingly small as newsletter outreach with an arts angle can have an outsized impact on encouraging our veterans to self-identify. We've witnessed time and time again that one of the ways to make a crucial first connection in inspiring veterans to self-identify is through the use of arts and culture. The September 2024 Greater New York City Veteran and Military Families Summit, held at Yankee Stadium, exists at the intersection between the services that our department provides to the veteran community and our support for wider cultural activities. We successfully completed the largest standalone event in the history of our agency in the form of the summit. Details about this and prior DVS summits can be found at nyc.gov/vetsummit. Fueled by the lure of the New York Yankees, a local cultural institution, DVS estimates that approximately 460 veteran community members physically entered Yankee Stadium, with roughly 350 of those attendees being individuals who came to receive the benefits, programming, and services offered. The remainder were service delivering personnel from DVS, the New York State Department of Veteran Services, the VA, veteran service organizations, and other community-based organizations. The recent summit did not just help our veterans, it created a footprint. This footprint drew local, state, and national attention, proving to also be one of our most successful outreach operations to date. All those involved rose awareness about the need for veteran services through this gathering. We delivered great benefit to the community, proving just how effective pairing services with a cultural entity such as the New York Yankees can be. Need number 3, continuing and ongoing programs. In July of 2024, DVS Digital Communications Manager Curtis Dorval, an Air Force veteran and noted documentary filmmaker seated with me now, helped to coordinate a national veterans art exhibition at the Salmagundi Club in Manhattan. In September of 2023, our agency proudly facilitated the visit of The Wall That Heals, a traveling 3/4 scale replica of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. Hosted in Flushing, Queens, this powerful exhibit provided an opportunity for visitors to honor the sacrifices of Vietnam veterans and their loved ones and reflect on their legacy. The exhibit also included a mobile education center, sharing stories and histories to foster understanding and connection within the community. Lastly, our evaluation team is reviewing our private first-class Joseph P. Dwyer Veteran Peer Support Program proposals. We plan to enter contract negotiations with art-related providers tied to the Dwyer funding program opportunities shortly. DVS received 29 proposals, of which 5 are categorized as being within the creative arts. We are certain that this funding opportunity will advance the creative arts as a recognized modality for increasing connectivity, building camaraderie, and reducing loneliness among our veteran and military community. With its focus on creative arts, the Dwyer program leverages expressive therapies such as art, music, writing, and dance as powerful tools for reducing isolation, catalyzing companionship, and promoting healing. Since its establishment during the 2012-2013 New York State legislative session, the program has expanded to more than 25 communities throughout New York State, of which New York City is now one. New York localities receiving funds through the program offer a diverse range of intervention offerings aimed at empowering the armed forces connected community. As we review proposals for the Dwyer Peer Support Program, including several art-related submissions, it is clear that expanding these opportunities will help further validate the creative arts as an essential mode of therapy and community building. By continuing to invest in these programs and exploring innovative approaches, we can ensure that New York City veterans and their loved ones have access to the resources that they need to thrive. Legislative proposals. Regarding the City of New York's positions on legislation referenced earlier, we have the following comments. Intro 686 for supporting veteran vendors. The city supports an additional seat specific to the veteran community on the Street Vendor Advisory Board. Intro 687, waiving permit fees for mobile food unit commissaries that reserve space for veteran vendors. At this time, we're still receiving feedback from the street vendor community on the impact of this legislation. For that reason, we'd like to engage with the veteran street vending community to further deliberate on the legislative impact of this bill. Intro 688, cure periods for certain violations by veteran service organizations. We appreciate and understand the intent of this legislation and its hope to provide much needed relief to our veteran service organizations in New York City. At this time, no such cure period exists for nonprofit buildings, but we're working closely with the Department of Buildings to ensure that any such violations that occur are handled with care and attention to the conditions the VSOs are managing. A deeper point, a root issue to DVS is the fact that younger veterans are not joining veteran service organizations to the extent needed to ensure that these VSOs, which own, manage, and maintain their own properties, have the bandwidth needed to mitigate challenges when they surface. We're actively working to address this problem. Intro 959, providing rental assistance to homeless veterans. While we agree with the intent of this bill, it is important to note that the housing subsidy proposed is already available to veterans experiencing housing insecurity in the form of the City Fighting Homelessness and Eviction Prevention Supplement, otherwise known as City FEPS. We advise policymakers to align Intro 959 and any legislative proposal on veterans housing assistance with the current workflows and existing programs to best serve veterans experiencing housing insecurity. The goal of this administration is to ensure that veterans who have fallen on hard times have the tools and support they need, such as City FEPS, to secure and maintain permanent housing. To that end, the city continues to work collaboratively to forge a future where no veteran community member experiences homelessness. And aside, we ask policymakers to join our efforts to inspire and motivate veterans to self-identify as well. We've learned that the veteran self-identification issue permeates through all sectors of our community, including those experiencing housing insecurity. One tangible step that all city council members can take today, please, on the intake forms that you use in your district offices, ask the questions tied to Local Law 37 of 2024. These are questions that the council, through its leadership, ensure that all New York City client-facing agencies now ask. Those questions, I'm reading from the local law. Question 1 is a question about whether such person or any member of their household has served in the armed forces, National Guard, or reserves of the United States, provided that responding to such questions shall be voluntary. And question 2, an option for any person who responds affirmatively to the question. Indicate whether such person consents to the Department of Veteran Services contacting them regarding services and resources for veterans. In conclusion, we're grateful for the opportunity afforded to our agency to testify on arts and culture within the veteran community. We're happy to answer any questions that the committee may have. Information on the art and community programs spoken about today can be found at nyc.gov/vets under the Community tab. Separately, we encourage all who listen to and read this testimony to learn more about the Department of Veteran Services offerings by visiting nyc.gov/vets, calling us at 212-416-5250, emailing us at connect@veterans.nyc.gov, and following us on social media using the hashtag @NYCVeterans. Two final things. One is organizations that are interested in applying for discretionary funding from the New York City Council, specific to helping veteran and military families, are encouraged to visit nyc.gov/vet-council funding. We have materials from the prior fiscal year and other information posted on our website, nyc.gov/vet-council funding. As soon as FY26 materials and the FY26 timelines are made available, we will update what appears. The information that appears now at nyc.gov/vet-council funding is instructive for all who are seeking funding through the council discretionary funding process. The deadline to apply for discretionary funding from the council will occur in mid-February 2025. DVS, through its partnership with the LaGuardia Community College Apex Accelerator Program, is happy to provide technical assistance to applicants. No veteran serving organization can say that they lacked the information or assistance to apply for these funds. To all in the foxhole with us on veteran and military family issues, please apply, nyc.gov/vet-council funding. 2, veterans interested in applying to their local community board. Community boards are the foundational governing bodies of this city, are encouraged to visit nyc.gov/vet-community board. The deadline to apply to join one's community board in all boroughs except for Staten Island, where there is no deadline. Application submissions in Staten Island are rolling. Deadline is mid-February through early March. Countless New York City leaders at the city, state, and federal levels, including many in this room, began their journeys by joining their local community boards. Please visit nyc.gov/vet-community board and apply. Help ensure that our people have a seat at the table. Thank you. And at this time, I'll be followed by Ellen Greeley and Curtis Duvall from our team. They had some brief comments they wanted to add.
Sure. So I sit here today acknowledging that we have hit an extraordinary milestone in the development of our agency, the long-awaited launch of the Dwyer program in New York City, made possible through the grace and support of the New York State Legislature. I'm humbled by the belief that our investment in the New York City veteran creative and healing art communities will accelerate their growth and help them blossom into thriving, sustainable industries by leveraging more public sector funding opportunities. Together with our Dwyer providers, we can help break down barriers that keep veterans from emerging from the shadows and engaging in these critical health-seeking and socialization programs. Standing on the shoulders of our colleagues at the VA medical centers in the Bronx and Brooklyn, as well as the Solomon Grundy Club, organizations that have long recognized the benefit of the creative and healing arts, we move forward with a newfound energy and commitment to bring these free programs to our neighborhoods, making them accessible and approachable by our military and veteran community. I also experienced firsthand the power of the arts to uplift those suffering from mental illness. My uncle, who enlisted in the Marines with the ambition of joining the Marine Corps band as a drummer, was killed in World War II at Guadalcanal. My grandmother was brokenhearted and by his loss and diagnosed with depression. Encouraged to join the Woodhaven Boulevard Senior Center, she often played piano for the members, heightening her spirits and desire to live. For many, like my grandmother, a Gold Star mother, I truly believe we are paving different paths for our community to engage build camaraderie, and find purpose to their lives. And now I'll turn to Curtis.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me. My name is Curtis Dorval. I am DVS's Digital Communications Manager. I am an Air Force veteran, a father, a husband, as well as a filmmaker, artist, and storyteller. To help frame the conversation, I would like to offer a few quotes for your consideration. An artist can show things that other people are terrified of expressing. That's Louis Bourgeois. It would be possible to describe everything scientifically, but it would make no sense. It would be without meaning, as if you described a Beethoven symphony as a variation of wave pressure. That's Einstein. And lastly, life beats down and crushes the soul, and art reminds you that you have one. That's Stella Adler. I have a thesis. Galleries, shows, performances, and artistic expression create and foster culture and community. Pretty obvious, in my opinion. In July of 2023, I received an invitation to attend the Journeys Onward Military Veterans Experiences exhibition at the Salmagundi Club. I mean, technically, the commissioner received that invitation, and I was there to promote on social media, but I attended. After an opening ceremony that included a dance troupe, performance, and a series of profound poetry readings, we were invited to peruse the gallery at our leisure. In line with the theme of the show, artists and admirers were able to intermingle, discuss, and reflect on the different pieces as well as their own experiences. If you've been to a gallery opening in NYC, the conversations that occur tend to be very cookie cutter. Comments like, "I like the line work here," or "such an amazing use of color," or "I'm not sure I get it." From there, it may pivot to intentions or the message or even the method of creation. Essentially, the artist experienced something, whether personally or tangentially, and that experience motivated them to create. And it called them to put that effort on display for others to encounter. That is what I found at Journeys Onward. A mixture of people from all different walks of life coming together to share time together and relate to the human experience, all spurred on by the artist's courage to create and share. It is for all these reasons that our agency worked to help produce the most recent Journeys Onward exhibition, and will continue to do so moving forward. Because we understand the power of Journeys Onward, a space for the veteran community to exchange ideas surrounding topics and experiences that can be viewed as controversial and in opposition to our own personal belief system. An inclusive space where our community can grow and have agency over their own narrative. A safe space to nurture and develop the voices of those who volunteered to fight and die in the name of this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that. And Curtis, I just want to ask your personal story. How did you get into filmmaking, and what came first, the Air Force, filmmaking?
I appreciate that conversation. It's a long conversation, but I'll try to distill it. I came to a crossroads. I was always involved in the arts. I specifically loved acting, and I came to a crossroads where I couldn't afford college any longer. I had paid for it out of pocket and ran out of money. So I decided I was either going to join the Air Force, a more stable career, or leave to go to LA to try to make it as an actor. And I decided to join the military, and here I am today.
Well, it's interesting. Would you say that the filmmaking saved your life or brought you to another level, let's say, in your life?
To say saved my life, I worry that that's an overstatement, but I think it's true. I found my passion in my life beyond, being a father and husband in the arts, and specifically filmmaking. That is what I love doing. That is what I'm passionate about doing, as well as supporting our fellow veterans here.
Yeah. I think at least with me, it was like I said in my opening. There was an art teacher in my junior year that said, "You should get a job in something that you love to do, and not live for only the weekends like most people do. In the arts, we don't live, if you're working in the arts, we don't live for any particular day. We enjoy every day. And that's what I found. And it goes different ways, but it saved my life. I know it because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted art, but people said you couldn't get a job as a painter, which I wanted to be, and make a living. And so then he said, well, what about commercial art? Or at that time it was commercial arts, now it's graphic design. And so I went into that. And even the job I have today is nothing related to art. It's the furthest thing from it, let's say. But I still enjoy designing, that I get lost in it. If I'm doing graphic design work and somebody gives me a job to do, or volunteer a poster, I say, I can do that. And I love that more than anything. And so I can understand how a veteran could get lost in it, can find himself or herself, but it also more importantly, gives you purpose. And you have something to offer. And when people appreciate your work, you feed off that. So it's a very important aspect. I think the arts, we should have had this hearing a long time ago, but I'm always interested in how people find the arts. And making it like you try to make it as an actor, and it didn't work out maybe. It's a tough business, and it takes several years. I too had the same situation, like I said, with painting, but gradually it leads to other things in the arts. Like I funded the NEON program in the Department of Probation, which exposes clients and students to the arts, photography, poetry, writing, whatever there are. And then I saw the most amazing work, because I taught college for 40 years in the arts, but I had students who coming from probation that were advanced beyond even college level, which I was so thrilled with, and I continue to support that program. The NEON program saves lives. I see that because I've gone to their exhibits, and they're amazing individuals. But enough about my background. I just want to, again, question some of the, by the way, Commissioner, resolution, let me go back to your comments on some of the testimony you mentioned. I'm sorry. On the supporting of the bills, giving veterans a priority in housing, that would be a bill, that would be legislation. I would think you would support that, in theory at least.
I think for us, it's,
I know you can't, maybe you can't say yes or no, but you could say I support the intent, right?
we can say that. We support the intent. We're right with you as far as what the intent is of it, Mr. Chair.
That's what the administration tells us, by the way, all the time. We support the intent, however, and then there's a however, but at least though, if we're on the same team, we want to do the most for our veterans, and we know about the food vending and all the problems that's been we have to solve that issue with the veteran food vendors. But
if I may say on this, with this one, the issues, the larger issues, the self-identification is still a real thing as far as getting even folks experiencing housing insecurity to say I'm a vet. And then the issue that's bigger than veterans is this vacancy, low vacancy rate in New York City as far as the housing shortage, like 1.4% or so. So, these are things that are like the larger pieces here for us. But you're right, we support the intent, but right now, City FEPS is something that is available to our veterans. Our team helps veterans access that. So we just feel as though the larger things for us to try to attack are this identification piece and just recognizing that there's this larger issue that is bigger than us about the vacancy rate being so low in New York City.
So on self-identifying, I know you do some announcements here and there, but can you give graphics? Maybe we can design it in the council, something that we could put out to our membership, to our constituents, that would help with that to self-identify. And some of the, at least in advertising, I come from advertising, I know you got to give them a benefit. Mm-hmm. The benefit, and tell the vets the benefit they get by self-identifying.
We absolutely, and to speak to that, and this is something we've mentioned too, we were so grateful that we signed an agreement with the speaker earlier this year. We're in the process of sharing our data with the different elected officials. The goal is to live in a world where you know all the veterans that we know who are in New York City, and we're looking at getting that stuff out, no later than the spring, as far as to get that to each of our council members. And with that, if there are any assets or things where we can say, hey, here's some suggested materials if you're putting out a newsletter, or you want it in your general newsletter, if you're doing any outreach targeted to those veterans in your district, that we can get those things to you. So we hope that that's a way that helps scratch the itch on self-identification, working in partnership with all 51 of our city council members.
Yeah, and and let me just jump back to the legislation again. Intro 688, cure periods for certain violations of VSOs, which is a huge problem, as you know. That also, if it becomes law, then it gets hopefully funding. So, and it's not really a funding issue if you look at it. It's not at least funding maybe for more building department personnel. I don't think that would necessarily mean so much in the way of hiring. I think it would need just a legislation that would give the VSOs extra time.
A couple of things to say to that.
It's not dangerous. So, like, as long as it's not, like the building's not going to collapse, we would, if it's a minor or something that's not structural, that we would give them extra time to cure.
What's tough about this, Mr. Chair, in my opinion, the root cause, and this is just by observation, is we don't have enough younger veterans joining these VSOs. And so you have a situation where you have a VSO that is aging out, and there's so many second and third order things going on there. So for us, we're so focused on what can we do to make this connection between the transitioning service members, of whom we now get those DD-214s when they're cut. So now we receive the separation paperwork when it's cut. As of September, I remember mentioning at one of the hearings, we now get the TAP data. So when someone says, I'm leaving the Air Force and I'm coming to New York in June of 2025, we know who they are. So for us, it's how do we communicate with them and bring them into the fold so that can become the next generation of folks. I feel like that's the root issue that we're dealing with. And then speaking to this,
yeah, but that's we can do two things. It's not like one or the other. It's like if we want to give the VSOs extra time to fix building problems and not pay fines, that's what this bill is.
I think the other side of it is that these cure periods don't exist for nonprofits at this time. So it's one of those.
Well, that's what this bill. No, that changes. This bill changes that.
I don't know if it attacks the root issue, which is oftentimes that the VSOs have declining membership and are aging out, and we're trying to attack the root issue, to which, and I want to acknowledge the person from our team who just gave me a note, who's our transition services manager, who deals with our transitioning veterans, right. Nicole Orlando, who's seated behind us, who also is our main liaison with the Department of Buildings. When we look at these violations, many of the DOB violations are mostly for boiler activities, so call that out. So it's boiler-related violations. And many of the oath violations are those where the work may have been performed, but maybe certain necessary paperwork wasn't filed. And so just so we know what the nature is of these things oftentimes. So I just want to call that out. And that,
let me just jump in on that one.
Yep.
The DOB, do they give extra time? Will they do that, or do they just hit them with a fine?
I know DOB's been taking it case by case, and I know that there's one standard across the board for these things. I know that with the DOB side of it, it's, for them, it's creating materials to educate the different VSOs on how to be able to stay up to code, things that may not even know, where it may not be a situation where the cure period is a solution, but just being informed about the process is a solution. But it still ties back to, if we don't have the bandwidth, are we able to, the VFW post I was a part of, our post commander, he was 90 years old and he passed away not too long ago. So, this is something that we are living through right now. And so it's like there's these deeper issues. And then another thing that we've been doing is we've been working to try to tie in with the different unions that have this skill set, boiler-related unions, to see if there's anything they can do and having apprentices assist with addressing these violations. So this is something we're aware of. We're trying to grind it out on this. I don't want to lose sight of the key issue is the aging VSO population as far as those in these properties and getting new blood in. That's the real issue, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, and some VSOs have been more successful than others, and we know that that's an issue. But I think generally as the veterans get a little older, at least the younger ones, as they age, maybe into their 40s, then they become part of the VSOs. We've seen that the younger ones maybe are busy with their families or lives or jobs, and there's very little time. But
I want to push back a little bit, and I don't know if anyone else who testifies will speak to this. I think what's going on is we've got an older, like Vietnam-era generation that is in the driver's seat at many of these VSOs. And the median age for a Vietnam veteran right now, I believe, is 78. And so we've got a lot of older folks. We have an older leadership crew, and you don't have something behind that crew. And there's some demographic reasons for that, but you just have young veterans not getting into it. Demographically, we had so many folks back when you had the draft. So you had a larger military. So there's a larger veteran community that is older. And so that's a whole other piece as far as we skew older as a community, so there are fewer vets. But then you compound that with this self-identification piece, with folks not self-identifying, with folks not getting involved in things, and it leads to where we are. So my worry is we provide the cure period extension, but the problem just gets kicked down.
And it gets worse, yeah. And I understand that, but again, like I said, we can do both. You know, we could, if we help the VSOs survive a little longer, or try to help them in small, you know, it's very small ways. But for instance, I have supported and proposed that each VSO, we could, every year we get a fund, let's say in the council, $50,000 could be for VSOs, member items. So each member would get $50,000, and that we could give that to the different posts in a way of a grant through, it could be through your office, or it could be through the VA even on the federal level, but we could actually fund at least some part of our, you know, our discretionary money to VSOs, because they're so important to keep open. And I have too many closed or too many sold, and I have an American Legion post that sits there now empty on my main area in Maspeth. So, and that was sold, and it's gone. But it was a center of the community for such a long time, for meetings and hearings and so forth, and for, you know, cultural events.
And Mr. Chair, I want to be clear. We are lockstep with you on the spirit of this.
Right,
I just want to be clear about that. So for us, it's
that's
really
what I was
how do
trying to get out of you.
Yeah, we were lockstep on the spirit of this, and the intent. I want to be clear about that. So.
No, good. Okay, so, or the intent, as the administration uses. But let me go into the hearing topic, the outreach strategies that you have in DVS that you use to inform veterans about available arts and cultural programs that they could obviously join or participate in. And how does the agency ensure that veterans from all backgrounds are aware of and feel welcomed by these opportunities?
I want to say a little bit and then throw it to Curtis and to Ellen. Broadly, the strategy of our agency, it's embedded within the mission. It's connect, mobilize, and empower. And so a lot of it, the connect piece is, how can we find these veterans and identify the folks, those who are in the shadows, those who are not, and then mobilize is making them aware of what's available to them, and then empower is to serve them, or to make sure that they're served. And so when we look at arts and culture, how it fits into this, it's, among other things, it's a healing modality, yes, and it has a lot of other things that are benefit. It's also that shiny thing that motivates our brothers and sisters to come out and to be a part of things. And so we try to work with our arts and culture community to be that beacon where folks say, look, I want to come and be a part of this. I'd like to contribute to that. And that brings our brothers and sisters, their families out, and then we can be able to connect with them. So strategically, that's what's going on. I want to defer to Ellen and to Curtis, kind of talk in the weeds on how we go the next step.
Yeah, very simply, Chair. The main thing we use is our social media and newsletter. That is our greatest proponent of this kind of information. That being said, yeah, that's our information hub. That and being on the ground at these spaces where veterans are physically located, that has been the best driver of community and culture development. But yeah, that information that we try to push out there, whether it's through our newsletter, whether it's through our social media, really tries to highlight, especially in our artist select, like our Veterans in the Arts section, which will highlight potential shows that are for free to veterans, or veterans specifically in the arts that are doing something in the artistic space, whether it's performances, whether it's poetry, whether it's graphic design, any of the above. We will utilize that to highlight specific veterans in our community and provide a space for them to, potentially move up in the professional world.
May I add something to that, Mr. Chair? I just got to say this. And to say everything he said, but it's public announcements. It's our Veterans Advisory Board meetings. It's community engagement sessions we hold with veteran leaders. It is council hearings like this. It's the different speeches that are given, et cetera. Those are things. We're still a young organization, and we're learning. So one thing we're learning, I want to call out, I think a group that's going to speak later today is the MET, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. They're going to speak. They had a Wednesday session a few weeks ago where they opened up the museum to veterans. Wednesdays are the day when the museum goes dark. And so they open it up for select communities to come. They had 350 veterans come. And one of the things they did, the Secret
What was
Sauce.
that?
This is the Met. This is the Met. It's
The Met,
Tanisha
okay.
Morrison. I remember the name. It was just 350 people came out. It was their second time doing this, the second year doing this. And something we're going to start to do, taking a lesson from them, is they reached out to elected officials and said things like, hey, can you sponsor a bus to get folks out here? So you have the cultural institution, which is turning the light on, saying, hey, we're open, come through. But then you've got the groups like us, we amplify the word. We do what we can to spread the word to our Rolodex, who we know. But then you've got us tying lockstep with the electeds too, and others saying, hey, would you support us physically making it possible to solve that riddle of how do we get that veteran to that place? So I think you'll see us try to pull that out as well and use that as another way to get this to a good place.
Yeah.
We certainly will encourage organizations to contact us for us to spread the word.
Right.
And that does happen. Sorry. We do encourage the organizations to contact us, and we certainly will spread the word. We had an interesting situation a couple of weeks ago. There is a new opera called Grounded, which is about a female Air Force pilot. And initially, we were contacted for lower ticket prices, and because there was still a cost involved, we couldn't promote. But I did ask them if they ever thought about providing tickets for free. Would they come back? We would be happy to promote, and that did happen. Of course, it happened only a day or two before the performance, which usually does happen. But it's those types of situations that do arise that we try to take advantage of. Of course, then I turn to Curtis and to Chuck, also on our communications team, to get the word out, and that's kind of how we do it. But we're very willing to work with all of our arts organizations, cultural organizations also, to really promote the work, especially for the veterans. I mean, we are embarking on something incredibly new, I think, in terms of creating the veteran and artist genre here in New York City. And one of the major areas, of course, is that many of the veteran artists get a wonderful GI Bill to come to New York to learn their crafts. This is certainly the best playground in the world to learn that, intern, become part of the institutions. And part of our challenge, of course, is maintaining the artists in New York City. As the commissioner mentioned, of course, the cost of housing is quite expensive. I was quite involved in the Peekskill community in Westchester for many years, and they purposely created an arts community up there, built housing for artists, offered generous a space for them, exhibition halls, and generous working space for them. And they did create, a huge community up there, which of course paid off in terms of an economic multiplier. Restaurants are now populating the downtown area, and Peekskill has come alive again from that particular experience. I know there is specific housing for artists in the West Village. I think that those are rare in this particular day and age. We also know that artists create these communities and then they get gentrified. I mean, Lower East Side, Williamsburg, Bushwick now, which is quite amazing.
Yeah, Soho,
Soho,
NoHo,
Long Island City, you name
Right.
it. And they bring economic vitality to the community, and we really have to think of this as an investment. So
Yeah,
I will stop there.
we see that the American Alliance of Museums supports free museum admissions for veterans and does a lot of work. But again, the local museums, what's your experience, or anyone on the panel, with the local museums like the Museum of Modern Art? When I went to school, in my master's program especially, I hung out at the Museum of Modern Art. It actually inspires you. You get a lot of adrenaline going in there, just looking at so many images, and it actually, I think all veterans should take that opportunity, especially if they're interested in the arts and visiting museums. But now the prices are very high, so if you could give us a list of, or somebody can give us a list of veterans programs with these museums, we can publish them. I know it's probably a lot more than we know, but
I would say certainly the Intrepid comes to mind.
yeah, we know about that one. I
Intrepid,
fund that.
right,
We fund it.
exactly,
But
yeah.
if there's
A veteran price to get
yeah,
a lower
there should
veteran
be
price.
a veterans price. There should be free admissions for veterans if they show their ID. Or at least days. The Museum of Modern Art used to do that for everyone. Like for students, they would have free admission or reduced admission. Some of the other museums. But if we can do something for veterans, yeah.
I will say, oh, it's on. Sorry. I will say, in my experience going to museums, my wife and I are both veterans, and she's in the museum space at the New York Public Library specifically, but's worked around. They typically do offer a veteran rate that is very comparable to the senior citizen rate. But as for free tickets, that does not necessarily exist in the space. It's usually at the discretion of the museum itself. So finding a program that does offer free ticketing for veterans looking to experience the museums is a great idea.
I want to take a moment, too, to give roses to our colleagues who run the IDNYC program over at HRA, where with that IDNYC card, there are several different arts and cultural institutions where folks do have, free access. And I want to acknowledge the Blue Star Museums program, which is a program where from Memorial Day to Labor Day each year, those who are still serving are able to go to select museums at no cost and to list a map of those museums. And many of those museums don't just offer free admission to the military members, but also if someone says, I'm a veteran, they also will confer that. So we're happy to look into that too, Mr. Chair, as far as making sure folks know where they can go for these things.
Yeah, just it's a few phone calls, a list of museums and galleries that might offer reduced admission or free for veterans on certain days. Certainly we could, when they're a slow period or slow day, we could try to suggest that. But that would be good. So that's my second question on that one, and you answered it about expanding it. And this is the third. In what ways does DVS ensure that arts and cultural programs are inclusive, accessible, and accommodating for veterans with disabilities, including mental and emotional health issues?
Once again, I'll say a little bit and then throw to Ellen and to Curtis. For us, it has to be said that beyond Chapter 75 of the New York City Charter, certain pieces are out of our wheelhouse. So for us, it's to assist and inform veteran and military families on areas of healthcare, housing, benefits, culture, education, employment. So with the assist and inform hat on, there's certain pieces that we can't touch when it comes to ensuring certain things when it comes to accessibility and just inclusivity. So we work closely with the Commission on Human Rights, with CCHR, on issues that involve someone being discriminated against through uniform status. And we work closely with our friends at the Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities as far as accessibility issues. So we kind of work lockstep with them. And then another thing, from day one on this job, I've said that this is about moving the bell curve of New York City's veteran community to the right, the entire bell curve. And so with that in mind, we work to market to everyone on things. And so we like to think our contribution to this is often getting the word out to all, regardless of race, gender, disability status, income, et cetera, to get more of our veterans and their families to be a part of this. So I defer.
Great, thank you. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, sure. I don't have too much to add here besides, when the opportunities are presented to us in this space specifically, programs that are specific to veterans with disabilities and all inclusivity in that regard, we typically try to promote that, again, through newsletter, through our social media. I think recently we just had one that was it was in regards to PTSD, trying to get veterans to resolve those PTSD stressors through the arts. I can't remember the specific program on right here, but I do recall us having one recently and us promoting it.
Well, that's my next question for the commissioner, so I'll just, punt it over to him. What roles do arts-based therapies and creative engagement activities play in supporting veterans' mental and emotional well-being as part of the DVS's broader mission? Because we did talk about this, we did fund different programs, but what do you see as being very successful, where more funding should be put towards? What programs or...
I'm gonna say a little bit and then give it to Ellen. I think
Okay.
This is her completely. To me,
All
it
right.
keeps going back to the connect, mobilize, and empower. So when I think of these things with an eye towards, the charter says we assist and inform, but to me, it's two big buckets that we do. One is to identify our brothers and sisters. Another one is to serve them at the end of the day. And so when I look at the arts, I see this as something that's a very attractive thing that we can use to bring more of our people, out of the shadows into the light. There are all the healing dynamics of it. At the same time, strategically, it serves with helping us with the connection piece so that we can immobilize and empower folks. I want to, just defer to Ellen.
So in many ways, this is the essence of the Dwyer program. We are using the modalities of the arts to bring people together. And we hope that the arts are offered by the providers in such an attractive way that veterans will basically come and engage with their fellow veterans. And we believe that that's where the magic is in the room. Just as Curtis described the experience at the Solomon Gundy Club with the arts exhibition, we too believe, and we have piloted Dwyer, and we do know that that experience is happening. So we just hope to amplify it with hoping to, use our funding for Dwyer to at least support some of these 5 organizations, plus the health and wellness organizations that also applied for the Dwyer funding at this time. So we're really excited. We're on the precipice of what I would call something incredibly exciting.
So now we have to come up with a way to, the DVS has to, start collecting this feedback from these programs for veterans. So that's the next hurdle after we have to fund them, but then we look back and say, what's the outcome here? What happened?
Yeah. So we had experience working with Metis, who did a survey when we were doing our Theater of War productions with the PAIR, under the PAIR program. And I've used much of that same study to create a survey to distribute to the Dwyer organizations once we decide who they are and right before they start. And we will be collecting survey data from these organizations.
Yeah, like how many veterans participated and what were the outcomes?
Yes, exactly.
Certainly, Curtis, you've seen some amazing things with working with veterans, right? And when they find a career or find a possible career or find a love, what have you seen in success stories in your experience? Like one individual that picked himself up or herself up and changed their lives.
Chair, to find a specific example on the spot right now,
I'm putting you on the spot.
I'm struggling. However, it does happen.
Yeah.
And honestly, when you see the connection and you see the turnaround, it's like the greatest thing in the world, because you've introduced a passion to somebody that has either lost it previously or were really struggling to find it. To see a great joy of mine is to see an impassioned person doing the things that they love in life and really just going to town on it, just like having a great time. And that's all I gotta say. It's
Yeah, well,
amazing.
my experience, I taught college for 40 years, like I said earlier, and in the arts, and I would watch students when they first came into the college and then by their senior year have transformed themselves into, they felt, like I said, they felt they had a talent, something to offer, they had something waiting for them when they graduated, and an exciting career. And anything in the arts, by the way, to me, is so interesting because you're creating out of something in your head and you're making it just like you make your films, you're editing, and it's a very creative way to do it, and then you see the impact it has on the audience. You get instant feedback. Instant feedback is so important in galleries and museums that artists show. We feel the best when our work is shown to somebody, because we live with it constantly, and when it gets shown, you change. You say, wow, and you get the feedback. So it pushes you. And so that's why when you get to be my age, you always start remembering those students that you had that came back and said, you know, they would say, Professor Holden, you really saved my life. You really helped me. You really gave me a career. I have now 3 kids, and I have a wonderful house, you know, and I bought, and I'm a working graphic designer, and you inspired me. And that, to me, is worth $1 million, because that feedback is so important. And so that means anything that's why this hearing is happening, because I know what it can do for a person, the arts, and we underestimate that sometimes, at least many times.
I will add, just because you've given me the time to think here, you know, personally, I wasn't necessarily going to go back into the arts after I left the military. And it was, to your point, it was a specific professor, and I'll call her out here, she's amazing, Monique Fortuné, at Fordham University is where I attended for my undergraduate, and it came to a point where I was going about doing my thing, and I brought to her a poem, and she's like, are you an artist? Have you considered this? And I was like, you know, I have this background, and I don't think it's right. I think I'm a little too late to the game, having been in the military for so long, and now I'm a father, and I have to provide for my family. And she pushed me. She pushed me, and she said, I think you should pursue there. I think there's something there. You have a message. You have something valuable to add to the conversation. And that's really deeply personal to me, and I value her very much for that, because it sent me on the career that I have now, and I absolutely thank her for that.
And I think most successful people will tell you that, especially in the arts, that there's somebody that motivated them and went the extra mile to really take them under their wing. And I had that, you had that, you just mentioned, but that's so important in the arts, that mentorship, and then somebody telling you, hey, you have talent, you should really work on it, and then here's how to do it, and here's how I can help you. That's important, and that's always happened, I think, with the people that I speak to who are successful, and especially in the arts. But there's no city like us, that in New York City, that we have so many museums and galleries, the center of arts in the world. So this is where it's proven to serve, to help people, and like I said, change their lives. You have any questions? I asked all your questions.
Mr. Chairman, I add something to what Ellen was just saying too, and Chuck. I'm not, and Curtis, forgive me. Just about the measuring of success. I just want to just temper this with, you know, we're working with partners, and so we're talking about Dwyer, which is a program that we have control over, so we'll be able to measure the success there. And even with the public arts and residence program, we have controls, so we can be able to measure success there. Yet there are hundreds, if not thousands, of cultural institutions, large and small, throughout the city. So it's difficult for us to have that second layer of it where we promote and spread the word, yet for us to really know the efficacy, that's difficult. We're going to try to wrap our heads around it, but I want to acknowledge the task that is at hand. Another thing I want to say, something that Curtis said just got me thinking, just to be said, you know, all creation, all expression is art. And so we just want to sit here in acknowledgement of that, large and small, like any types of measures are forms of art, and we think about that. And something we were talking about this beforehand, we knew we wouldn't have time to cover this fully, so I just want to put a framework out there just as something in the back of your mind and those who are listening to this hearing. The precursors for this conversation, this self-identity issue with the veterans is real, as far as the number of our vets who don't self-identify. New York City is a mecca for art. We want to recognize its role as far as what this city is as a gem. And we all create art, we all consume art. And so that is the framework. With that, you know, buckets for us is looking at the creators of art, those who create it for healing purposes, those who create it for commercial purposes. And another piece is to look at the consumers of art, those who consume it for healing purposes, those who consume it for commercial purposes. We want to just be mindful of the workforce aspect here. There's an entire workforce associated with this. We knew we wouldn't have time to discuss that. That's a whole other piece. And then when it comes to objectives, we think about one of the objectives is how do we increase the number of veteran community creators and veteran community consumers of art? And then another objective, and Curtis pointed this one out, decreasing the civilian-veteran gap in these things. And so for us, when we look at this broader conversation, which has so many different branches and sequels, just want to acknowledge that aspect of it and just paying homage to the workforce component as well, in addition to other pieces.
Great. Just to piggyback some of that, and I'm going to ask you a question here, and you should say the answer to this question is money or funding. But what additional resources or support would enable DVS to expand and improve the arts and cultural opportunities offered to veterans, and how might the City Council assist in this effort? We can assist in publicity, like I mentioned, but we could also assist in funding. But what else could we do?
I want to flip the money thing, and this is something I've said in prior sessions. You give us a choice. If you say, James has $1, do we give the dollar to the community? Do we give the dollar to DVS? I'll say give it to the community. Dwyer has gotten us to a place where we believe that we're developing, cultivating muscle memory amongst our veteran serving organizations to apply for money from the city. So much work was done to get folks to a point where they can go through all the traps to be good with passport and get pre-qualified for certain things to apply for Dwyer. You may very well see many of those same institutions taking a shot on goal once February comes and it's time for council discretionary money. And we're going just like the end of this testimony, where I took time to say, go to nyc.gov/vetcouncilfunding to learn how to do this. We don't want any organization to say, I didn't know and I didn't have help. We're working to make sure they know, and we're working to make sure they have help. So what we want to do, I want to be in a place where we can flood the box with veteran-serving entities who are saying, we are requesting council funding, Mr. Chair. So for you, the most important thing that I would ask right now is to try to load up more money in the back of that truck so that we can help our brothers and sisters. And so I'd say that's the place. We're doing our end. We will socialize left and right coming into the next discretionary funding deadline to have folks apply. And we just ask that when that comes, that we have more resources on the council side to receive this. So that's my
You know, again, on that topic of what we can do as a city council, do you see any legislative actions that we could do to enable DVS to expand and improve the arts and cultural opportunities in institutions, possibly, like a legislation requiring reduced admission to museums?
I gotta say, it's not that the ideas aren't there, it's that, and this is just me speaking, I feel like I'm so focused on certain things that, because the power of the council is its money and its legislation. And for me, I'm focusing on the money as far as that piece. And right now, because we brainstormed, we couldn't think of anything that's substantive, that realistic, they can get through right now on the legislative side. So for me, it's the better ask. If there's only one wish I can give to the genie right now, it would be more money on the table for these veteran-serving groups, and we will do what we can to get our community to come and take advantage. That's been missing for years as far as us applying for council funding. I want to change that narrative.
Great. So ask for some more, but we should double, triple your budget. How's that?
We will always accept more. We will never turn down more
quadruple
resources.
No, you get $5 million and change now, and it should be $20 million. So
Yeah, we will never turn down more. But to be clear,
I know,
but you know me, it's always, if it's a choice between the dollar going to our people and the dollar going to us, give the dollar to the people. You know, just, you know, and we want to give you and the committee the leverage to say, hey, look at all these veterans who are now applying. We have so many folks who are ready to go, who are just knocking on the door. Give us the resources to fund this. That's what I'm hoping we can do, Mr. Chair.
So I'm going to challenge Curtis and Ellen. Certainly, let's come up with some more creative ways in the cultural area that we could expand and serve our veterans as a council. So if you have, you know, I'm offering now, here's what I'm going to offer you, Commissioner. You get somebody that calls DVS and wants to know about going into the arts, you give them my number. Really, I'm serious, because I could give them enough information that, and I'll just do what my teachers did, and Curtis could do the same. Well, how do you motivate someone to get excited about art, and what you know, how should they proceed? And that's very important, especially for our veterans, and they deserve that. And they deserve certainly consideration and free admission. That if we can, you know, make that with city museums, you know, that we have leverage over, yes, I think we should do it. So, okay, Councilmember Marmorato has a question.
Chair.
Thank you.
I think this is amazing. I think it's great that we're doing this because, unfortunately, I don't have that artistic ability, but I do see how it can be very therapeutic. I know with my own child how she really does enjoy, singing and acting, and, as we have in common with both of our daughters, that it's really like puts them out there, and it's absolutely amazing. Now, I was wondering, is there a way that you can create a list for us of these organizations that we can pass on to our local veterans? I don't know if it's something that you already have established, if it's on a website, or if it's just a simple email.
I believe I gave that list over to Regina from the ones that we're aware of, but we also recognize that we are birthing a new industry here. Let's not minimize it. I mean, veteran art as a genre could really grow in a lot of different ways, and a lot of it is about bringing it really to the community level so that it's accessible for people to engage and enjoy in. I mean, it's a challenge. I live in the Northwest Bronx, so I could tell you, coming into the city, I have to think twice about, Manhattan. We always think about it as
Same
the city.
here.
Okay.
Everything to me is
Bronx
downtown.
thing.
I'm in the Bronx,
I know
so
it's a
anything
Bronx
below me
thing.
is downtown.
Right, exactly. We're going to the city. So the reality of it is that that we really do want to keep it. I know the Bronx is filled with the arts in so many different ways. We should really exploit it, as far as I'm concerned. We should have exhibitions of veteran art in all our boroughs all the time. Really make this we should really brand it and really make it a New York City venture in many cases. And we started it with Solomon Goodney Club, and you'll hear from our friends in a little while, but the part of it is really bringing it to the community level, and that's what we're looking forward to.
So the short answer is yes, we can provide that list, and we provided Regina, who's a staffer who supports the committee, so we got you.
Great, thank you. And also, just to put on your radar, City Island has a couple of art galleries in our district, and we would love to see some veteran
That would
art
be fabulous. That would be great. Yep.
exhibits. Perfect. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. So, thank you, Commissioner. If you want to add anything else, if you have ideas in the future, certainly, Curtis, we'd like to connect. And if DVS gets a call with somebody who wants to go into filmmaking, even you can maybe even talk about acting too, because you have some experience in
We're going to
that.
keep that in mind because as we get a better handle on the transitioning service members and making that contact, so it's likely we will come across another Curtis, and so that's a very real thing. We'll take you up on, Mr. Chair.
Great,
We're getting a handle
great.
on these folks. So, yeah.
Yes, we work on so many good programs, and this is one I think doesn't cost a lot. And if we could just steer people in the right direction, that would go a long way to help, certainly help our veteran community.
If I make the shameless plug once again for council funding for all who are listening to this, it's nyc.gov/vet council funding for those looking to apply. That deadline will be mid-February, so it's nyc.gov/vet council funding. We can provide technical assistance as well, and for those looking at joining a community board, it's nyc.gov/vet community board. nyc.gov/vet community board. But that's another thing where the application period is typically mid-February to early March, with the exception of Staten Island, which is rolling. So thank you so much.
And I want to plug my bill to have a Veterans Committee on every community board. That I hope gets through. And serving on a community board for 30 years, we did have a few veterans, especially from the Vietnam War period, and they were very, very valuable for the community board. And we're on several committees. So if we had a Veterans Committee on every community board, I think that would also go a long way to self-identify. Right? So, thank you, Commissioner. Thank you so much, Alan. Thanks so much, Curtis, for your testimony. So I'm going to open the hearing for public testimony, and I remind members of the public that this is a formal government proceeding and that decorum shall be observed at all times. As such, members of the public shall remain silent at all times. The witness table is reserved for people who wish to testify. No video recording or photography is allowed from the witness table. Further, members of the public may not present audio or video recordings as testimony, but may submit transcripts of such recordings to the Sergeant-at-Arms for inclusion in the hearing record. If you wish to speak at today's hearing, please fill out an appearance card with the Sergeant-at-Arms over in the desk here. The card, like I said, the sergeant's over here, and he'll call your name out, and you will be recognized and come up to the panel. When recognized, we'll do 3 minutes to speak on today's hearing topic, connecting veterans with the arts and cultural opportunities. That's the topic of today's hearing, so if you keep it on that, we shouldn't have a problem. So please remember that we will hear all testimony on this topic, both in person and we have some people on Zoom, including 2 council members, right? And then we will turn to in-person and Zoom testimony on the 7 pieces of legislation. If you have a written statement or additional written testimony and you wish, like I said before, wish to submit it for the record, please provide a copy of that testimony to the Sergeant at Arms. So we'll now call the first panel. Okay. Roman Baca, Karen Jean Lowe.
We're just starting with the arts.
Okay, all right. Karen, you can go. Go ahead first.
Good afternoon. Am I loud enough? Good, thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Karen Lowe. I am the chair of the Coast Guard Art Program Committee, otherwise known as COGAP if you like acronyms, at Salmagundi Club, where I am an artist member and serve on the board of directors. COGAP has been co-sponsored by Salmagundi Club and the United States Coast Guard since 1981. The club is one of the oldest art clubs in the United States and is located in Manhattan at 47 Fifth Avenue in a landmarked brownstone in the Village. Created in 1871 as a 501c3 organization by artists and patrons, its mission is to support one another and to encourage the advancement of art of all kinds. We engage with the public with numerous programs centered around the arts. Support of America's military veterans and Coast Guard has continued to be an important part of the club's legacy. The main focus with COGAP is to highlight the 11 missions and extensive training of the Coast Guard through art. The artists are all volunteers, giving of their time, talent, and generously donating the works of art. We immortalize in our paintings and drawings those who serve our country in the United States Coast Guard. Wherever COGAP art is exhibited, it serves to honor our service members and to educate the public. Locally, the program has the support of the New York Council Navy League for the annual reception and acceptance ceremony at Salmagundi Club, which helps widen our public outreach. Coast Guard senior leadership attends this prestigious occasion where they accept the art on behalf of the Coast Guard and the country. Following the exhibition at Salmagundi Club, the art is on view for approximately 2 months at Federal Hall National Memorial on Wall Street, where the steady flow of tourists assure an even wider audience. COGAP has a national presence with more opportunities for public viewing. Art is often exhibited in maritime museums, in government offices, and of course, the Coast Guard headquarters in Washington. I'm also very proud of my COGAP committee's sponsorship of the Military Veterans Art Exhibition at Salmagundi Club. We have brought into the spotlight both visual and performance art, increasing public awareness of the unique and very personal perspective on the impact of military life beyond active duty. Salmagundi Club provides exhibition space and an impressive venue for the reception program. We are most appreciative of the support of these popular veteran events from the New York City Department of Veteran Services, the Art Student League of New York Commandery of the Naval Order of the United States, as well as the veterans community. They all understand that our military veterans deserve to be seen, heard, and above all, valued. All these opportunities for COGAP and military veterans art on view increase the civilian public's awareness and hopefully appreciation of our military for all they do for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Roman.
Good afternoon, Chair Holden, members of the New York City Council Committee on Veterans, and guests. My name is Roman Baca, and I am a U.S. Marine Iraq War veteran and the artistic director and co-founder of Exit 12 Dance Company, a New York City-based nonprofit that uses dance and storytelling to heal veterans, advocate for veterans' issues, and educate audiences about the impacts of service. For over 17 years, Exit 12 has proudly called New York City home, leveraging the vibrancy and diversity of this city to elevate the voices of active duty military, veterans, and their families through the arts. Our story begins with a simple yet profound realization: the arts have the power to heal and connect. As a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, I returned from Iraq, searching for ways to process my experiences and reconnect with my community. I went back to dance, and it became my outlet and my lifeline. Exit 12 was born from a desire to share that transformative power with others. According to the VA's Whole Health Program, last year, approximately 41% of veterans reported experiencing mental health challenges like PTSD or anxiety. They also found that holistic approaches integrating physical, emotional, and social well-being, like dance and theater, showed promise in improving overall health outcomes. I have dedicated my career to encouraging and engaging veterans, both in the US and the UK, in the arts and recovery programs, collaborating with esteemed organizations such as the US Department of Veterans Affairs, the Department of Defense, the Royal British Legion, the Ministry of Defense in the UK. Holding a Master's of Fine Arts in this work, I am now pursuing a PhD to further explore how the performing arts profoundly impacts and benefits the military community. Since our founding in 2007, we have presented over 125 performances across New York City and internationally at prestigious venues including Lincoln Center, the Intrepid Museum, the 92nd Street Y, Walter Reed Military Medical Center, and West Point Military Academy that have showcased the personal stories of over 1,000 veterans. We've engaged over 75,000 audience members with stories that explore themes of war, service, and the human condition. And we have released 2 short documentaries filmed here in New York City detailing our impact with the military community that won national awards and attention while highlighting New York City as a place where veterans could heal and connect through the arts. One of our core missions is community engagement. We conduct workshops where veterans, military families, and civilians come together to create performances in art, fostering mutual understanding and healing. This work is particularly impactful for underserved populations like the military community, offering a safe space for dialogue and self-expression. One of our participants, U.S. Army veteran and New York City resident Anthony Roberts said, "How does dance feel? I feel like Joe Cocker after happy hour, but that's okay. I'm still very uncertain, very tense, until I'm actually doing it. I've definitely felt a sense of release, peace, coming to terms with what happened through movement. The setting of New York City and its unparalleled cultural ecosystem has been essential for our success. It allows us to collaborate with local arts organizations and bring veterans and interested members of the public together in community spaces that cultivate and celebrate diversity. New York City is the world's cultural center, and as such, we argue that it should be an example to the world by offering world-class arts to veterans. However, as costs rise and resources become scarcer, we need continued support to sustain and expand our work. I urge this council to recognize and support the critical role the arts play in the lives of veterans and their families. Programs like our annual workshop and performance partnering with the Intrepid Museum are vital to organizations like ours, ensuring that we can continue to enrich the cultural fabric of this city while addressing the unique needs of its veteran population. On behalf of Exit 12 Dance Company, I thank you for your time, your attention, and your commitment to fostering a city where art, healing, and community intersect. I invite each of you to attend one of our 8-week creative workshop series or public performance with New York City veterans, their families, and the community. The next one is on the Intrepid starting in April with our final showing May 30th to witness firsthand the profound impact of this work. Thank you. I'm open to answer any questions.
Well, thank you both for the testimony. It sounds exciting. I'll ask the same thing I asked the commissioner or the last panel. Do you have some success stories where you saw the transformation so graphically that person jumps out, that you saw a complete change? Roman, you've probably seen it in your work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have worked for many years with a Vietnam-era veteran who will tell you that in Vietnam, he experienced the worst day of his life, a rocket attack, where he was petrified with fear, and he couldn't act as he was trained, and that made him feel guilty for every day of his life past Vietnam. Last year on the Intrepid, he decided to recreate that moment through movement and storytelling.
Wow.
In the framework that we built, working creatively, and in the practice that we've created, we surrounded that veteran with support, with love, and he was able to work with that until his heart felt still. And then he was able to put it on stage in front of a live audience on the deck of the Intrepid and give that experience to others. A few days after that performance, his therapist downgraded him from high suicide risk to low.
Wow.
And it's one of the most inspirational stories I've experienced doing this work.
Wow. Well, I asked for it and I got it. That's a very dramatic story, and see, that's why we're here, and that's why this topic is so important, because just to hear that story motivates me even more and because I get that, but I just wanted everyone to hear that, how it saved the person's life. Would you have something like that? I don't know if you can top that one, but.
Well, I'm not here to top that. I'm here to applaud that.
No, I know, but I don't want to
actually.
put pressure on you.
Here to applaud that. I want to digress to one thing you said earlier about being in the arts yourself. And I've often used the phrase that dead artists make all the money. The rest of us have to work for a living. So I understand your interest in graphic arts as well, mine too. As an artist for the Coast Guard Art Program, my own art that contribute is strictly about the Coast Guard. And it's about the men and women, the active duty, not the generals, not the admirals, not the officers per se, it's the everyday. And on one occasion, a piece I had done was based on a photograph in Public Affairs, and you show the back of the serviceman reaching over to help someone in one of those floating rafts out in the ocean. It's first it's a rescue mission before it's anything else. And we didn't know who this person was, but once this art becomes part of the program, it's out there on the internet, and this person contacts me. And he said, "My kids never understood what I do every day." He said, "Your image helped explain it to them, and it's made my 12 years in the service all worthwhile." Suddenly he felt seen,
Right.
and his family understood what he did. And on the veteran side, where we have these shows at Salmagundi Club, I've learned a lot myself. I see the value that it has for the public of seeing the art, talking with the artists, hearing their poetry, and watching them come out of their shell and want to engage with the civilian population so that we understand better their life of service, their commitment after that life. It's one of the first times we did this, there was a woman who was part of the VA who was a art therapist, a licensed art therapist. And it was all about what art therapy does and brings to this situation. So she had a panel after the exhibition, and one gentleman said, he says, "I used to be a happy person." So it showed what the service had, how it had changed him, and how art was opening him back up to finding some kind of happiness and peace in his life. So I've seen that transformation one by one in the arts that I've watched and observed. It's been very powerful.
Yeah, and that's the reward we get for those programs. That's the feedback you get, and you feel like a better person, definitely, when you provide that. So thank you both. These are amazing, and it's on the record now. So certainly keep doing what you're doing, and please keep in touch with my office about other success stories. I'd love to hear that and print those in some publications so we can motivate others to do the same. But your story, both stories are amazing. And again, that's why we do what we do, because of the people that we help. Thanks so much.
I just have one other thing, that
Yeah.
Salmagundi, though it's not considered a museum, and it is a club, we are free and open to the public every day.
Good, all right.
I think except Mondays, but basically the hours on the website. So there's a lot of art there that's there just to be seen and appreciated. and perhaps she'll come by sometime.
Yes, yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having us today.
Thanks. Our next panel, Coco Culhane, Timothy Pena, Joe Bello, Roger Walker, and Eric Lee. Before your testimony, just state your name for the record. Ms. Cohen, yeah, you can go.
Hi, Coco Culhane from Veteran Advocacy Project. I don't have anything to say about the arts, so enjoyed listening to everyone's amazing stories. I just wanted to comment quickly on the voucher bill. So the written testimony we've submitted offers, some technical amendments, suggestions, and I just wanted to say, to advocate for it, that while this is something that's technically available through city FEPS, there's an opportunity here to create, go the extra mile for veterans and to basically create something like HUD-VASH on the city level. Since the funding is essentially already there for those vouchers, why not, make these specific vouchers available through DVS, not having them run or implement the system, right? Not recreating the wheel, but they do housing case management services. It's one of their strengths. Why not tie that to these vouchers? And then just, in terms of specifics, in terms of post-traumatic stress disorder, different mental health conditions, going through the shelter system, we know is extremely taxing. As attorneys, we've tried to do reasonable accommodation requests to get people to skip those lines and things like that in those processes, and it's extremely difficult, time-consuming, and a lot of our clients just give up. Getting an appointment at home base, very, very difficult. I know there's a housing nonprofit that's about to hopefully hire someone to be a veteran navigator for the home base and to offices. So I think there's an opportunity that this bill could be amended with, it needs a lot put into it in terms of definitions and implementation, but I think there's a real opportunity, and you'd be targeting a small population that's still in shelter and does need some extra assistance.
Great, that's a great idea. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Joe? Yeah.
Hello. Okay. Joe Bello. I was going to testify, but after listening to DVS's testimony, I wanted to at least clear the record on some of these things that they testified that they're doing. So they claimed that they did a pair program with the Social Design Women Veterans Portrait Project. To be clear, that took place in 2015, prior to them becoming DVS. That was the Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs. Their pair with the Theater of War, that happened in 2017. Their collaboration with Decruit, as the commissioner is aware, this came up at a VAB meeting 2 years ago, and subsequently, they never did any outreach. They received funding from NYU, but the DVS never did outreach on Decruit's behalf. Additionally, as I said in the previous testimony, the previous hearing that we did regarding the post-9/11 Veterans Memorial, I submitted a FOIA to DVS, and they have told me with a number of questions because there's been no transparency around that post-9/11 memorial, and they are telling me that they will get me results, they will get me some answers, hopefully by February 26th of 2025. So once again, in fact, after that hearing, about a week later, they then posted the names of the members of the board. So they hadn't even done that until after the testimony. The other thing I would say, too, is, so we had a DVS individual here named Curtis Doral. A lot of veterans don't know who he is. I mean, I know he runs the social media. I know it. but a lot of veterans don't. I would have recommended that perhaps in one of those Friday newsletters they put out, he should introduce himself to the community. I've met him at a couple of events, so I do know who he is, but I know most of the community does not. And other than that, the only thing I would say about the intros and bills, currently I can't support them as is because they are vague and they need a lot of work, and I think a lot of testimony, like what you just heard, around them. So but you have my testimony, particularly on arts and how important it is, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
If you could also come up with, if you have some suggestions for the bills, that's why we have, a hearing on it, and then we go back and we adjust it.
Yeah.
So it would be A or B, we would move the bill, but there would be amendments certainly. So
Yeah, well,
if you could,
I do have suggestions for the bills, particularly like in talking to a number of the vendors on those bills and a couple of the other ones, but, we can talk and I'll.
yeah, if you have time, if you can put it in an email, we'll certainly include it, a suggestion and discuss it. So
Yeah.
that'd be good. Thanks, Joe.
You got it.
Eric?
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Chair Holden and members of the committee for the opportunity to testify today. My name is Eric Lee. I'm the Director of Public Policy at Volunteers of America Greater New York, or VOA GNY for short. We are a 128-year anti-poverty organization serving over 750 veterans every year. I submitted written testimony for the record, which I will briefly summarize. VOA GNY appreciates the Council's continued leadership and commitment to supporting veterans who served our country, and we support Intro 959, which will expand access to rental assistance to more veterans experiencing the trauma of homelessness. A significant number of veterans who experience homelessness struggle because they do not qualify for federally funded supportive services for veteran families, or SSVF services, or rental assistance through HUD-VASH due to their discharge status, length of service, or branch in which they served. To ensure that this legislation is as effective as possible and can assist veterans who served in the National Guard but were not called up for active duty, we recommend changing the definition for veteran to mirror the CITIFEPS rule as defined, quote, a person who has served in the armed forces of the United States. We applaud the idea of having the New York City Department of Veteran Services administer the voucher to ensure a no wrong door approach. This would ensure that veterans can apply through programs where they feel most comfortable. We also encourage the new program to accept direct referrals from SSVF programs to enable warm handoffs for veterans who do not qualify for federal resources. VOA has an SSVF program that does community outreach, and this would be a great tool. We recommend removing the proof of residency requirement, which could be a barrier to services, particularly for veterans experiencing unsheltered homelessness. Many lose important documents or identification due to street sweeps and may not be the best personal historians that can provide a complete housing history. So it takes time to replace documents and verify fragmented address histories, which prolongs the experience of homelessness for service members. Finally, we recommend increasing the income limit for discontinuance of the voucher up to 80% of the area median income from the proposed 200% federal poverty limit. This would mirror CITIFEP's limits and will enable veterans to earn more income to become self-sufficient and be able to afford rent before they step off the program. Thank you for the opportunity to testify.
Can I just ask you a question while
Sure.
I'm on this? The street sweeps that you see, does that happen quite often where all the materials are thrown out, and what do you have to do then after that to catch up?
It happens, I want to say, it's a regular process which the city does either through NYPD, Parks Department, Sanitation, and in conjunction with the Department of Homeless Services outreach teams, but they could also do them separately, so they might not have DHS outreach there, they may just have sanitation. It can happen in a couple different ways, where it could be an urgent cleanup if there's like a health and safety concern, or they could give more advanced notice where they post a sign and say that we will do a cleanup in the coming days and weeks to try to give the people there time to gather their belongings and move on or find somewhere else to come inside. But the challenge with that is that when people start cleaning up things, important documents can be thrown out, even if the person is saying, please don't throw that out, and the sanitation worker is not a caseworker, he's going to pick everything up and just put it in the garbage truck. So it does lose ground then, because then caseworkers working with the client need to either apply. if
Start again,
especially-
and yeah, it takes, it might
Yep.
take weeks or months even. right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, Roger? Yeah.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Roger Walk. I'm the program director at Samaritan Daytop Village Veterans Program. I'm here today on behalf of President and CEO Mitchell Netburn. And so I'd like to speak about a couple of things. First, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak at today's hearing, for your dedication to supporting our veterans through bills and resolutions aimed at creating stable job and housing opportunities. I am honored to highlight the crucial role that arts and culture play in our mission to support and uplift veterans at Samaritan Daytop Village. At Samaritan Daytop Village, we believe that true healing encompasses the mind, body, and soul. The arts have proven to be a vital tool in this journey, offering our veterans a means of expression, connection, and empowerment. Our partnership with Stella Adler Studio of Acting is a cornerstone of this approach. Their Outside In program provides veterans with actor and playwright training alongside professional actors and others in recovery. These weekly sessions foster creativity and emotional growth, culminating in powerful performances like those recently shared with participants at our Ed Thompson Veterans Program. We also collaborate with ANI, Arts Academies America, where veterans engage in art therapy sessions focused on pencil sketching and drawing. These meditative activities provide a calming environment for self-expression and resilience building. Each participant leaves with a sense of pride and accomplishment. Additionally, the Theater Development Fund's Veterans Theater Going program has enriched our veterans' lives by providing access to Broadway and off-Broadway productions since 2018. These shared cultural experiences offer moments of joy and connection, reinforcing the importance of community and recovery. These programs are more than creative outlets. They are lifelines that help our veterans process their experience, build confidence, and envision brighter futures. They reflect our commitment to a holistic approach to healing, driven by compassion and community. Thank you for recognizing the importance of these efforts and for supporting Samaritan Daytop Village. Together, we continue to ensure that every veteran has the opportunity to heal and thrive. And I'd like to say, as a Navy veteran and person that has worked with veterans for the last 19 years, art therapy works. When I first got involved with Samaritan Daytop Village, there was an art therapist on staff at our 43rd Street program. As one of the first counselors at the Ed Thompson Veterans Program, when they opened in 2006, we had an art therapist on staff at the program. We know that art therapy helps reduce the symptoms of PTSD. We know that it helps people engage in talk therapy. The arts are vital to veterans recovering. So when veterans get to Samaritan Daytop Village, they're in crisis, right? Many haven't been, their mental health is unstable, they have substance use disorder, criminal justice involved, they have a plethora of problems. These outlets, Stella Adler, Theater of War, I heard that mentioned earlier today. I have seen folks engage in these art therapy type of projects, and it begins to open a whole new door for them. Plus, also, they're getting involved with a whole nother community. I really want the committee to know that any funding around the arts, that Samaritan Daytop Village will use that funding wisely, and has a history of working with the arts as well as our evidence-based therapies around cognitive behavioral therapy and the like.
And I notice you exhibit the work around the buildings and the floors. That's what I noticed first when I walked in there, all the artwork on the walls. And that's so important. People don't realize how important showing either student work or showing artist work goes a long way in the therapy part of it. Just doing the work is, the art is one thing, but then when other people comment and you get feedback, that actually builds self-worth, builds a sense of pride and a sense of purpose. So I love the way you exhibit art all throughout the building. Thanks so much. Thank you very much,
Thank you for
Roger.
visiting our facility.
Thank you. Timothy Pena, did he, because he didn't come up? Timothy? All right, called you in the last panel. All right, we're going to go, just have a seat. And then George Singleton. George Singleton. Frederick Hart. Michael Mattis. Michael. Frederick Gazier. Frederick. And Armando Crescenzi. Armando? Timothy, you could start.
Good afternoon. My name is Timothy Pena. I run an organization called Veterans Justice Project. Glad to be here. I'd like to make a couple of comments concerning what seems to be an overwhelming issue of access to the veterans, especially when it comes to programs such as what you're proposing today, arts, and another program that we're having with housing. It's time to lay this on the table. I am a service-connected, disabled veteran with an honorable discharge. I am eligible for all VA benefits, including HUD-VASH. There are veterans in this community who are not eligible for those benefits. There are veterans in this community who have not an honorable discharge, but a bad conduct discharge. There are veterans in this community who have disgraced our service. Those veterans, I'm having to share space with. Those veterans are sleeping at Borden Avenue. They're the ones who are tearing sinks off the walls. They're the ones who are dealing drugs. They're the ones who are overdosing and dying, like we had another veteran who died of overdose again last week. These veterans, whether they are eligible for VA benefits or not, are not my concern. My concern is when I'm transitioning, and this is what we're talking about, into a place like New York City, which is what I did 2.5 years ago. I was guaranteed by Congress a safe, drug-free environment with support of services, wraparound supportive services, housing resources, access to mental health, transportation, outreach activities, and be able to have a community engagement for the community that I was moving into. I got a violent, drug-infested shelter because Department of Homeless Services doesn't want to separate the good guys from the bad guys. These programs, these federally funded grant per diem programs, are meant for us. A lot of the city programs, I understand that, are for anyone who served. They should be able to have those services provided them. But as a veteran in good standing with Veterans Affairs, I should be afforded a little higher and better service than what I'm receiving and all the other veterans over at Borden Avenue are presently receiving. Thank you very much.
And you, Timothy, you brought it to the attention of the Borden Avenue leadership, the director, and what was the response?
So I had a discussion with CEO of Institute for Community Living last week. You know, we saw this yesterday. DHS is pointing the fingers at the vendors, saying that they have no control. But in speaking to Jody Rudin from ICL, they're pointing the finger at DHS. Who do I believe? I think that DHS is bullying ICL. They're bullying this city council and not allowing us access to the veterans. They're bullying DVS. The food's atrocious, and it's not the black trays.
And I agree with that, by the way.
And,
That
you know,
should change.
And
Yeah.
I think that you're under the impression that they're the black trays. They're not. They're brought in after those black trays have been, they're picked through. And they're cold because there's no kitchen there. The kitchen's being used for a culinary school, and they're cooking there, but not sharing. They're not cooking for the veterans. So when foods come in and donations come in, they either go home with staff or
Now, the culinary school, you just mentioned that. Does that, I thought that was teaching veterans on premise. They were actually teaching that.
yeah, but they have, it's not all just veterans. And then what they're doing is the cooking part of that is actually over in Manhattan. So you have to be there. I've talked with several veterans who, they only joined the Culinary Project Renewal just to eat. But once they were told that they had to go over to Manhattan and, you know, they have to be there by 6 or 7, and it's a struggle trying to get up at Borden. There's no coffee, there's no food, there's nothing there.
So the food doesn't get, in the kitchen, it doesn't get shared with the residents at all? So you-
Not a zero.
Okay, I got to talk to you about that. Let's talk offline a little bit, and
Yeah.
I'll have to go over and look at that. Thank you. Thank you, Timothy.
Yeah, just to follow up real quick, sir. So Jamie Rudin did say something that they're looking for another vendor, but, you know, these GPD programs have cooks. We have a chef who cooks our meals. She also talked about doing something with the security over there and doing something with the laundry, the way that it's being set up. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, but I suggested that over, I think it was 2 years ago now, to change that over to pre-pandemic. We had a working kitchen then for everyone, and I'm distressed to see that or hear that that the clients don't benefit, the veterans don't benefit from that. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is George Singleton. I'm president of this small organization called Disabled Veterans of New York. We started last year. We have no funding, but we have some issues that need to be addressed. The main issue is our status in the state of this state. If we're disabled veterans, that means that we were issued a hawker's license to sell goods and services because we were physically hurt while we were in the military service. But you come to this city, that's not what you see. A disabled veteran go to the corner to get a spot to feed his family. He's got to fight with a guy from another country that don't speak English. He's got to fight with the police. He's got to fight with people that have no license. I've been vending 23 years. Should I still have to go through that after 23 years of service? Come on. I served honorably. I served 9 years of service, 4 years active, 5 years reserve. I shouldn't have to come home to where I live at and have to fight. I don't think no veteran coming home should have to fight. So the problem is we need to have it crystal clear from the City Council Resolution 686. I need you to take that up to Albany and tell them, make it crystal clear to anybody that reads that law from the Business Law 35A, disabled veterans have the highest priority of any veteran in the state of New York. Make it clear so that there's no discrepancy when the police come to you. Said, oh, well, who got here first? Who got here second? We don't want to hear that shit. I'm sorry. We don't want to hear that stuff. When we put our hand up to serve this country, we didn't ask who was this, who was that. We just did it. We did it to make sure that our family was safe and that everybody else's family was safe. I think we deserve the right to have that right, that respect.
Absolutely.
And the next thing, the fact that when 9/11 happened, we were on the streets out there, and they took away our rights down at World Trade Center and our rights on Heroes Canyon of Broadway because some veterans that came prior to me said that was the only way that we were going to be able to work in the city was to give up the avenues and give up the rights to Canyons, Hero, and World Trade Center because people were upset because they were selling pictures around Ground Zero. Right after it happened, everybody was hot. Come on. All the smoke and billowing pictures was hanging around World Trade Center. So when it went up to Albany 2 years later, in 2004, when they made the law change, that was the main focus. The focus was, oh, you're selling stuff and you're hurting the people that live at World Trade Center. That's over with now. You got all these other vendors that don't even have a license running around selling stuff illegal spots. Why is it that only the police come to us? I'm just here for answers because I'm tired of it.
Yeah, that's why we have these bills, and that's why we're hearing it today. We're trying to address it. It's been probably the most nagging problem that the disabled vendors are getting pushed out. And that's since the city council opened up, a lot more vending, and we saw a dramatic difference. So it's up to this council to fix it. And that's what we're trying to do. But thank you so much for your testimony.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sir, thank you. My voice is usually loud enough, but anyhow, the microphone, just make it louder. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, city council members, distinguished veterans, representatives, and guests. My name is Fred Gazier. I am a Vietnam veteran, the Vietnam combat veteran, president of the Vietnam Veterans of America in Manhattan, Chapter 126, also president of VVA 126 Foundation, New York City. I have read the proposed legislative bills, and you have copies that are passed out, and I made comments to each and every one of them, and you can read them at your particular leisure. I applaud the actions taken by the City Council and the Committee on Veterans Affairs. Great start, and certainly a small step that might pacify a few veterans in the community, but not me. This is but a drop in the bucket and a smokescreen by the City Council to cover up lack of support for New York City veterans. The actions and lack of support by this administration and this council towards the veterans community, I personally and many veterans, including some here at this moment, believe to be disgraceful and dishonorable. New York City residents, men and women, have for decades answered the call for the country. They signed up, they volunteered, some were drafted, they served, they fought, some gave their last breath of life. They received neither their country's glory, nor their country or city's compassion. The city of New York has forsaken and abandoned the American warriors, the veteran, those city residents who pay taxes, the citizens of this great city and country, and has replaced them with the world migrants. Two very serious issues face veterans in the city. Issue number one is veterans that are homeless, cannot find shelter, food, clothing. But over 175,000 illegal migrants plus have been welcomed to the city, factual. It has been said that the city is spending close to $2 billion on shelter and housing, $2 billion on services, supplies, clothing, cell phone, entertainment, Visa cards, city ID cards. $500 million on food and medical costs, $500 million just to administer these things. As of today, December 18, 2024, the city of New York is approaching $5 billion in spending. Perhaps, and it comes out to about $388 per migrant. Now, how do I wind this all together? Well, now, Chair Holden and council members, I'd like you to tell me about all the money and all the great and wonderful programs the city of New York has put into effect to help veterans, and all the future money that they are planning to spend on veterans programs for shelter, for food, for housing, and the homeless. But I also like to have you tell me is how much per day, per veteran does the city of New York spend? Do they spend $388 a day per veteran? Do they spend $300? Do they spend $100? Or is it more like 50 cents a day? I think that probably is more appropriate. The city council, I believe, should be ashamed. But I think not, because I personally and many veterans believe that certain city council members, not all, some are excluded, and I exclude the ones in front of me, just don't give a damn about veterans. Issue number 2, veterans that need mental health treatment to heal the wounds, the unseen wounds of war. Veterans' mental health and the alleviation of veteran suicide is at an epidemic proportion. Over 22 veterans per day kill themselves across this country. And that's a fact and can be verified. Okay. Their pain, their mental anguish has overcome the rationality of reason. But actions can be taken to help stop and alleviate veteran suicides. I ask this, what is the city doing on mental health for veterans? How much are they spending to support veterans groups that reach out and offer programs and treatment for their fellow veterans? These veterans groups and organizations are the front line, are the safe haven for these troubled veterans that need help. Why has the city council, whose members are of an educated society, compassionate members of humanity, religious subscribers, and tell me this, what have they done and why haven't they done more? Veterans organizations in the city of New York, like United War Veterans, Operation Warrior Shield, Vietnam Veterans for America, Chapter 126, and their foundation, and many, many more, are the front line for these troubled veterans. They provide the avenue and source for proven therapies and treatments. Veterans of all decades, race, color, creeds, religions, genders, they're welcome. These frontline organizations need funding. They need help from the city. As our esteemed mayor has said many times, show me the money. Yes, Mr. Mayor, the veterans community like to see the money. Mr. Mayor, where is the money?
Thank you so much for the testimony. That's amazing. I can't disagree with anything you said.
Yeah.
So we got to move on. We just ran way over time on that one.
Very good. Chair, you can
so
read the
much.
rest of it, what I have to say.
If I could, I think I have your testimony. If you could, you give us a copy.
We have, I've distributed copies.
Okay. All right.
I thank you very much.
Thank
and
you so
I
much.
appreciate what the council is doing.
Thank you so much for telling the truth. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
My name is Mr. Hart. Mr. George at the end kind of spoke for me already. I'm here just to let you know that I'm just tired of being stressed out when I leave Midtown to go home. Sometimes I see myself lash out at society because I feel like, I'm being disrespected. I just got my blue license, and I decided to go into Times Square to try to make a better living, right? And for some reason, it seems like I'm at war with every food cart vendor. Everybody is disrespecting me, right? So I'm trying to find out, where do I stand? What are my rights, right? Do they come before the veterans, or do the veterans come after them? Who's first? Who's second? Who's third? These people, they have to make a living too, but they have no respect for us. And the reason why is because the police do not help. My first day on the job, I spoke at 250 Broadway when I first met you, Mr. Holden. That lady, Miss Vicky, was here. I told her I was ashamed to put the license on my neck, so I started hiding it. She said, you should never hide your license. They surrounded me and they gave me a ticket my first day on the job. And they said, oh, your table's too high. They gave me a ticket. And I wanted to know why. And I said, there's people all around selling with no license. They walked away and I followed them for 4 blocks. It hurt. So,
And you told the police that you were a veteran?
they seen my license. They took my license and wrote a ticket. My first day on the job. And I felt violated. Here I go, well, what did I do? I said, my father was a cop, my stepfather, I respect the law. Why would you ticket me? Now that I see that they have no respect for us, right? I want to know from the council, where do we stand?
Well, we're bringing it up with the commissioner, the new police commissioner, about the harassment of our veterans. So
Yes.
that's going to be, that's #1 topic from this committee on meeting with the police commissioner. So if you can tell me any more information about that, if they're continuing, we have to change that and change
And
it
another
fast.
thing, I want to know, who's first? Does
You're first.
well, you got to tell the food cart
Well,
Egyptians down there who's first.
Yeah, you guys are first, period.
That's all I want to know.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, council members. My name is Michael Matos. I'm a veteran of the United States Coast Guard and now serve as the first vice commander of American Legion Post 917. We are the first post to be chartered in New York City in over 10 years, which I believe comes with a special responsibility. Our mission is to build a multi-generational community of veterans here in the city with a focus on meeting the needs of the post-9/11 generation and beyond, which is why I'm here today to testify and raise a growing concern that our members have brought to my attention. A proposal has been presented by role players of the incoming presidential administration to cut government spending that they feel is unnecessary, including funding for VA benefits. I'm sure we can all agree that this would not only be a disrespectful decision, but also a threat to our national security. President George Washington once said, "The willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, shall be directly proportional to how they perceive veterans of earlier wars were treated and appreciated by our nation." With ongoing concerns surrounding military recruitment, how can we expect a conversation to go between a potential service member and a veteran who has had their benefits revoked for the sake of government efficiency? Conflicts with foreign powers who seek to do us harm are already on the rise. Are we willing to leave ourselves vulnerable by not responsibly handling the true cost of war? I look forward to the council's support to ensure any proposals to cut VA benefits as a whole are immediately struck down. I'd also like to recognize and express my appreciation for my fellow veteran service organizations that are here today, including the NYC Department of Veterans Services and Exit 12 Dance Company, who can speak much more in depth on the positive impact arts and culture can have on our veteran community than I can. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your testimony. Excellent. Thank you.
Good afternoon to the committee and to all the veteran advocates who are here today. My name is Armando Crescenzi. I was a little confused coming in what the agenda was going to be today, so I put my focus on the introductions and the resolutions. However, having sat here and heard of how meaningful and helpful the arts are to veterans in the city, I have to say that street vending is likewise very helpful to veterans in the city. You asked earlier if somebody had a success stories about how arts were able to help a veteran overcome a crisis or maybe a suicide. I have hundreds of stories, not hundreds, but certainly dozens of stories where street vending was basically the bridge, the foundation that helped veterans in crisis make it through another day and turn their lives around. And the fact that, I hate to say it, but the discrepancies between the willingness to embrace the arts, but street vending not so much, it really left me with the bad impression of the council. And I feel that basically the council owes all the vendors in this room an apology, because I have kids, and I'm not going to invite kids to the party and make one feel special and the other one feel like crap. So I think the council owes an apology to all the vendors in this room. So I'd like to go on and speak a little bit more about the how beneficial street vending can really be. Basically, just like the Doe Fund says, work works. Certainly for immediate finance, self-efficacy, job training, job development, career development, a bridge to a reintegration. Veterans, it's rough out there. People who do this for a long time, it's really just a mechanism for the veteran to get on his feet and hopefully come up with a plan, build a restaurant, go back to school, something else. For those of us who stay, they get good at it. There are fortunes to be made out there. Sadly, veterans have not been given the opportunity they were promised, and it's just not easy for vets to do this. I would say any vet who finished basic training should be a success out there, but because of the city's harassment and disrespect, they're driven out of the marketplace. So having said that, I'd like to go to what I was going to do and comment on the resolutions and the intros. Regarding resolution number 465 on public housing, I'm fine with everything except for the resolution. The resolution has only says that the veteran shall be given preference for public housing. All right, that needs to be broadened. Public housing, all new developments, any development where the builders have been given a tax credit or a tax break, all right, it needs to be expanded. Also, with the city of Yes having been approved, there's a lot of opportunity there for the city. They're going to separate $5 billion to promote the city of Yes. Well, how about a program where if a homeowner rents a unit to a veteran, their loan could be forgiven. The loan for the cost of their building their dwelling unit could be forgiven over, let's say, 5 years. All right, so I thought that was a pretty good idea. And of course, Mitchell Lama and any other housing that the city has access to. All right, regarding the real estate tax break, also I'm in support of that, but the resolution is vague because we already have a property tax exemption for veterans, 15%, 20%. We already have that. What we're looking for is an exemption for the entire annual tax. So that resolution's got to be cleaned up a little bit. Moving right along to the original. Oh, I'll start with the silly one first, or next, and that is the commissioner shall waive the fee for commissary operators who reserve a space for one mobile food vet. Who wrote that? I don't know any veterans who own commissaries, all right? That was not written by a veteran. It was not written for a veteran's interest, and there's no way to make sure that benefit will trickle down to a veteran. In fact, having been out there for 20 years, I have to say that the commissaries are a very hostile place for veteran, and the idea that one veteran by himself is going to be in a very competitive and aggressive and sometimes violent environment by himself in a commissary. I mean, I've been a victim. I remember when the hot dog carts, the Nathan's came out, they were all electric carts. I can't tell you how many times I went to get my cart, it had been unplugged overnight. All right, and you go to complain, next thing you know, your gas cords are cut. So I just want to wrap this up because the next item is very important. And the thing is, I would like to have a little more time because we spent about an hour and 40 minutes on the arts. And I think that
That's the topic of the hearing. So
all right, well,
this is not a food vending.
The resolution, well, I don't know. I was invited to discuss the resolution.
Well, again, you can talk about the resolution, But to knock the other topic and say, well, you know, we're not giving enough time for this topic, we are. I've given you more than
That's
the allotted time.
disingenuous. That's very disingenuous.
Okay, then that's your opinion, but if you want to change the word
I need one more
commissaries-
minute.
let me just get back to your original, you just mentioned about 687, the word commissaries. What would you change it to? You don't like that word?
No.
So what would you
Absolutely
change
not.
it to?
When you start giving commissaries to service
I
disabled
just asked
vets,
you a question.
it
What-
has to be
change-
thrown out.
change the resolution.
You're rewarding our abusers
Okay.
by giving the commissary owner a break.
What
You're
would you like
rewarding
to see?
What am I trying to say? Build commissaries for veterans.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for your
One
testimony.
last thing on the appointments to the street vendor advisory board.
Yes.
The title of those people who are picked is absolutely inconsequential. It could be the Pope, it could be Derek Jeter. If they don't have training, if they don't have awareness of what is going on in the street, if they're not aware of what's going on, it doesn't matter if they're commissioners of this or commissioners of that. They are not going to help write any legislation that's going to help any street vendors. So my suggestion would be, to add to that amendment, during the member's tenure on the Street Vendors Advisory Board, each member must spend at least 1 day a month on a field day working with a vendor, all right? And it should cover all the vendors. A general vendor who's a vet, or a general vendor who's not a vet. It should cover food vendors who are vets and food vendors who are not vets. It should cover those vets who are specialized vending licensees and those vets who are not specialized licensees. And it should also include First Amendment matter matter vendors.
Okay.
So because what has happened, why we have made no progress over 20 years is because folks who are preparing legislation or hearing our complaints just don't understand our issues. So there needs to be a certain level of proficiency on the board. And I have so much more to say, but I'm sorry if I encroached on your time.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Thank the whole panel for great testimony. Thanks so much. Next panel, Jean DeFrancis, Walter Wells, Sharon Brown Jeter, and R. Paul DeLue. R. Paul DeLue.
I couldn't read that one. I couldn't read that one.
DeLue?
Yeah, but I tried my best.
Okay. Okay, R. Paul. Is R. Paul on this panel? We can't read the last name so well, so we're guessing.
What's the first name?
First name is, we can't read your first, we only read Paul? I guess. It's hard, your handwriting's like a doctor. You want it, could you, Sergeant, can you see if the individual is this person? All right, Gene.
Good afternoon, Chair.
Okay.
Begin?
Yeah.
I want to thank you for your patience in this committee. I know your intentions are extremely positive and well-meaning based on our discussions through the past months. The veteran community is just extremely frustrated. You speak of the migrants and the money that was spent and the hotels, and then you speak of the crises at board and houses. I want to just, because there are so many topics to go into, but I just want to ultimately speak on the root of the problem, and that's the veteran culture. It's you wouldn't have an Asian American speaking on Latino issues. You wouldn't.
One second, just pause.
Sure. Sure.
You could stop the clock or start all over. Okay.
Just forget about the clock. I'll be sure. But it's very important, so I want to start again. The veteran culture is extremely unique. No matter what culture or what background we come from, once we swear that oath and once we graduate boot camp, we become a fraternity, a siblinghood of like-minded people, whether we're from Alaska, Florida, Hawaii, or New York. And continually everywhere our members look, there are non-veterans speaking for us, not listening to us, unlike this committee, which we do appreciate. But they're either totally ignoring our needs and our requests, or they're wanting to give us the sun and the moon. And we're a specifically unique culture where we weren't giving the flight mechanism when it came down to fight or flight. And I'm specifically referring to our veteran vendors and those in the shelters that are extremely frustrated. They are encountered by the police officers getting into trouble because they don't run away. And when we can have that dialogue of how to communicate with the veterans and the veteran community at large, and for Board and Housing to allowing the VSOs in their facilities, or any VA hospital that doesn't allow a VSO, there's a stark difference between the Bronx VA that does allow the VSOs and works very well with those that speak the veteran language. And then we can move some of these programs forward. Also in the Bronx, we have the HHC housing coming through, where those either pretrial detainees are getting housing and resources before the veterans as well. I also want to, I'm happy to answer any questions regarding the American Legion facility being not operated, and how to access, because there is a structure as far as the county can then rebuild, because there's a much larger and in-depth situation going on with why these VSOs, especially some posts, are not recruiting. But it's too much to go into detail here. And I want to share that as far as culture, and sticking with that theme, when you tell a veteran to focus on a specific task, if you tell them to focus on PTSD and veteran suicide, they're going to drill that day in and day out. Whereas the reason why all these programs are, and art is chaotic. I'm an artist by trade. I am a SAG-AFTRA member. I made a career in the performing arts successfully. And when you spoke, and art is chaotic. Art is not calming every single day and night. It can be, but when you challenge yourself, and especially if you're on stage, those moments before, but the veterans thrive in it because it's a task and it's a mission. And if you have them focus on that task, if you have them focus on the horse, if you have them focus on any kind of therapy, they'll thrive.
Yeah, it can be intense. It's sure, there's all different emotions, but there's a result where there's a satisfaction.
There's an accomplishment after the fact.
Yes,
that's undeniable,
exactly.
Correct.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much for your testimony. We have Raymond. Right, go ahead. You want to put the mic on? You got to press the button there.
My name is Raymond Ponce de Leon. I'm a veteran. I was in Vietnam. I served for over 37 years. I'm a sergeant major. And I think what's going on with the veterans here, they don't care. The public don't care. The police department don't care. You get a ticket. You can get arrested.
So you're a vendor?
Excuse me?
You're a vendor?
I'm a vendor, and I'm a food vendor.
Okay.
To get my license for a food vendor, I'm going to a lot of changes now. I have to go to get it inspected, re-inspected, then you got to wait. As a general vendor with a disabled veteran, I got stopped three or four times with a ticket.
All three? You got 3 or 4 tickets?
No, in different time periods I got
Okay,
a ticket. I was in Manhattan and got a ticket because I don't have the blue one, I have the other one.
Where are you now? What location?
Right now I'm not doing anything. I'm an artist by trade.
But are you waiting for your papers to come in, or is it?
No, I have all my papers,
Okay.
but the only one I don't have is the one for food card.
Right.
Because I cook. And they give you a hard time. They tell you, okay, you have to have it re-inspected. You only have 30 days to do it. It takes money to get a food card out. A lot of money. My food card is over $10,000. Every time if I go to inspection, it's going to cost me $5 and change.
But you're not using it now?
I can't use it.
Okay.
by law because you get a ticket. You don't have that sticker, you get a ticket. Then you have all these foreigners out here doing it. In my neighborhood in East New York, none of the veterans know about the arts here that you mentioned today. None of them know because they come to me because I'm part of the church. I'm a deacon. So none of them know about that. The community service don't know about that. They're not saying anything about that. All the veterans are trying to survive and do something, and you can't. Now, you all said that you'll give out information, grants and all that. How come East New York doesn't have that right now? How come Bed-Stuy doesn't have that right now? Every other neighborhood will have it. We don't have it. That bothers me as a sergeant major, because I told all my men, you got a job to do, you do it. You come out, you go to the VA. You have any problems, you go to the VA. You don't go outside like they're doing now. They're sending you out to another doctor in Yonkers or in Orange VA. But the arts, I've been doing arts for 25 years, and not one I heard something about what this gentleman said and that gentleman said, that art is the thing. I love art. I enjoy it. So how come you can't help me? Why I don't have the resources? I design, I make leather bags, pocketbooks, I paint, draw, I do woodwork. I create things that are...
Or you said you sell food, though. You sell this too?
Food. I can't sell food right now.
So you're selling this on the street?
I'm selling that on the street.
Okay.
Even my artwork, my leather bags, my belts, handmade, and I get stopped by the police.
Yeah. But you don't have, do you have the license to sell? Is that?
Yes, you want to see it?
No, I don't. I
It's
believe
in my pocket.
I believe you.
But the whole point is that I don't make to go too much time. I'm an artist for the day I was born. I went to school for it. How come I didn't know about these programs that he's saying here in front of this board? Why I didn't know about it?
Well, part of the problem, and I'll tell you that, and then we got to move on. But part of the problem is that the DVS budget for the agency, they can't communicate, really. They can't do a mailing to you. It's because their budget is so small. So that's what we're trying to correct, and the mayor's office has heard our pleas, and hopefully the council will hear.
Yeah, I know the mayor.
So what we want is for, and I said it today, it could be double or quadruple or even more. They should have a $20 million budget, not a $5 million. Smallest agency, not by, not being a coincidence. No, I just have to move on, but we can talk after. We could talk after.
The communities need to find out about this.
Right.
East New York, Bed-Stuy.
Well, you can talk, you can call, and the commissioner sitting right behind you is the only commissioner that stays, and I'm sure his staff will talk to you after they.
And one other thing, these foreigners coming up here, they harass you. They leave their food carts in Euclid Avenue, they leave their food carts overnight. The rules told me, right here, downtown Manhattan, told me that I have to take my food cart when it's licensed and park it in a certain area.
Yeah, we're hearing this over and over again. What I need is specific locations that this is happening, that they're leaving these food carts.
Oh, I could.
Okay, no, that's why we're going to talk. That's why, we'll have to get.
Euclid Avenue's train station. There's 2 food carts there are locked in.
All right, we'll talk offline. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So, go ahead.
Thank you for letting me be able to speak. My name is Walter Wells. I'm a disabled Vietnam vet. I appreciate what George said. Armando, we all been through a lot of trials and tribulations with our vending. Right now, I'm going through a problem where the agency, with the health department, they made a mistake with my permit. So they try to tell me, I let it expire and stuff like that, but they made a mistake by trying to give me a park permit. So now I don't have no permit, and I can't, for the last 3 years now, no Christmas for my family, because I'm not able to do my food. And plus, my card is missing, Why? Because we have a group out there call themselves the Egyptian Mafia, they have carts on our corners, the veterans' corners. You know, 2 and 3 carts. But yet and still, the veterans are only restricted to 1 cart. We don't mind us being restricted to 1 cart, but how could they have 3 or 4 carts taking up the space, the rules and regulations? I lost so many friends already, you know, because of what's going on, us getting tickets from sanitation, these guys refusing to move their carts. They leave there 24 hours. The rule says they're not supposed to be out there 24 hours without it going back to the commissary to get clean. But they want to clean the carts there. If you ever walk down to Times Square, most of the dirty water and oil and stuff like that is put in the sewage. That's illegal. They're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to have meat hanging out all day and they're going to serve it to people that comes to, you know, to visit New York. It's disgusting. But yet and still, you know, the veterans is kicked out. We don't have no corners. You understand? And on ones of us that, the few of us that do have corners, you know, they really don't want to fight, but they will go get their group, or they will cause smoke coming from the carts to mess up your merchandise. You know, I mean, like, we're going through a lot over there. You know, and that thing that you heard about Borden Avenue earlier, I feel real bad about it because I'm a product of Borden Avenue back then. We didn't have all those drugs and stuff like that. We started a drug program there, a prayer group there, and I got my license that helped me change my life, my vendor's license, because I was one of the first 60 guys to get the blue license. They're one of the first. And, you know, and that helped me get my apartment there, and I'm still in the same apartment from all that time.
So Mr. Walter, just let me, because your time's up, but I want to ask you, you mentioned that the Department of Sanitation is giving you tickets.
Yeah.
Are the police doing it?
I don't blame...
No, this is a question. Are the police...
No. The police,
okay.
The police, yes, some of the police, because I did get a ticket from a New Jack. But she won't do that again because I think they straightened her about that.
Because I can't see if you're wearing the hat, they don't.
Some of them, they do not care.
You have the ID, you have the blue.
They do not care. I wear this around my neck all day, but they don't care.
All right.
You know?
Well, I'm going to address that with the police commissioner.
Yeah, would you address them about
And I'll talk to the sanitation.
Yeah, but the health department also, they're not helping me get my my permit. They're the ones that are holding it. And I feel that they got enough people, their friends, in taking care of their own people. You understand? Their own Egyptian people. They, you know, we're not getting nothing.
Right. All right, Walter, we're trying to address that with some legislation, but we'll certainly address some of these harassment things, the ticketing and just the illegal vendors that you mentioned pushing off veterans. That should not be. And
yeah, but you know, I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming the agency.
Right.
Because by them allowing these guys to be out there 24 hours or all those carts are taking over, that's not right.
Yeah, I agree. We have to move on. Thank you. Sorry.
Hello, my name is Sharon Brown Jeter, and I always want to remember Israel, defend Israel, and we know the veterans have defended Israel over all the years that we have been a nation. That is one of our responsibilities. The Bible says those who bless Israel, God will bless them. And I thank all of the service members for what they have done for us, and we are going to give them what they need. So they need housing, and that can be immediate. As I have said before, there are empty apartments, houses, and whatever there are that are long-term. They can get into these apartments. There's a thing that they are doing trying to separate veterans from their property. So many of these veterans that are homeless and things like that, it's a situation where you don't own property. That's a hint to slavery. You can't own property. So they have veterans moving around, losing jobs, not being able to pay rent. They have to go from place to place. They won't be able to maintain property and things like that. We're not going to do that to our veterans. There are many stores that are going to be changing hands. We have halal stores and things like that. People who represent other nations like Islam, they are no longer going to be getting these businesses. We're going to be giving it to our veterans. Our veterans can own whatever they want to in the street and have stands, but they have a right to also have stores, just like everyone else. Many of these stores, they send their money to Islamic countries. We are currently at war with Islamic countries. We're going to find out the mosque that help out people to harm our veterans, that harass them here. Many of the problems that the veterans are having, whether it be through the health system or whatever system attacks and harasses them, they're doing it on behalf of Islam and whatever attacks America. We're going to go after those things, and we're going to get the veterans every single thing they deserve, every benefit they've missed. If they were homeless veterans out on the street, they will be considered to have been active duty. When they were out on the street, if they were out on the street for 10 years, congratulations, you were active duty for 10 years, as well as whatever years you spent in the military. So I'm working on all of this stuff, and when I was a little girl, I said I was gonna find out why the veterans were homeless when I was a little girl. And as I looked through it, I found the connection between Islam and anti-Semitism. And that's what we're dealing with now in Israel. So just remember the hostages, and we want Yahweh's people to be free. There are some people from New York that was killed as a hostage, and we are defending America. And thank you, veterans, for taking care of America. We're going to take care of you.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, the panel, for this testimony. And we're moving on to the Zoom portion of our testimony. On Zoom, Lenny Williams.
You may begin.
Thank you. Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for letting me share. I appreciate 126 talking about, talking about, you know, the homeless veterans, and also the, Timothy, who talking about Borden Avenue. Talking about, I want to talk about Borden Avenue and the veterans homeless population. I'll start with, my name is Lenny Williams. I'm the current president of Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 32 out of Maspeth. Councilman Holden, I'm in your district, and we work together very well, and I thank you for all you do. All right, so anyway, I'm going to start off on Borden Avenue is located in Long Island City, New York, is a veterans residence / shelter. From what I know, Borden Avenue Veterans Residence Shelter is part of Independent Community Living, the ICL, traditional services of the city of New York, which I believe consists of 6 to 8 shelters for homeless. But Borden Avenue is the only veteran shelter out of that 8 shelters. Well, why veterans are part of the New York City homeless, I can somewhat understand that, but I believe there should be a special part, like what do you call it, room for people that would represent veterans as a whole, and, you know, homeless veterans. And we talked about homeless veterans a lot today. What happened was, I'll talk about Borden Avenue, as that gentleman said, I think his name was Timothy, mentioned about the kitchen and so on and so forth. Me personally, I have a personal experience with Borden Avenue, and on Thanksgiving Day of November 28th, myself, the charitable organization, Brothers Helping Incorporated, where they brought 210 ready-to-eat meals to Borden Avenue at 11 o'clock. They've done it 3 or 4 times prior to that in the last couple of years, and they always had access to the shelter. This time around, his name is Andy Yelanis. He was scheduled. He made arrangements a couple of weeks before Borden Avenue, and they gave him the okay to show up on Thanksgiving Day. I'll say Thanksgiving Day, which was on Thursday that day at 11 o'clock. I met Andy prior to that at another function, and he invited me to help him out to distribute food. Excuse me. And so I met him there at 11. I says, okay, I met him there at 11 o'clock, and he was standing outside in the rain. It was an ugly morning, as if people can remember that. And I said, what's going on? And he said, we were denied access.
Thank you. Your time has expired.
I turned around and I said, why? So I went in there, and they just refused access to Borden Avenue. They said, if you want to drop off these 210 meals in a little vestibule off to the side of Borden Avenue and just leave it there or take it with you. Of course, we don't have a choice. This is Thanksgiving Day. They wanted to provide for the veterans. So I helped them bring the meals into this little room off to the side at 11 o'clock in the morning, and God only knows what happened to them. I immediately called Councilman Holden's office, and I also called Jason Lundgren, who's the senior intergovernmental spokesperson for the veterans. Both Councilman Holden and also James Lowran says, listen, we'll make a couple of phone calls. It was too late. It was Thanksgiving Day. These veterans, they didn't get the meals that well. Maybe later on, it had to be cold. Anyway, later on that day, I'm sitting at home and I'm looking at the TV and I see Mayor Adams serving all these homeless people, on for Thanksgiving meals. And I said, Jesus, this is ridiculous. Like, we're veterans, veterans in Borden Avenue, United States veterans, like we said, we served our country, we did our time. And here we can't even get in there to deliver meals.
Okay, Lenny, could you wrap it up? Yeah, just wrap it up because we're way over time.
Everybody else had 10 minutes.
No.
Oh, yeah, okay. But Borden, okay, so let me just say, okay, I'm just saying, it's amazing. Anyway, the homeless people, something has to be done with Borden Avenue. You heard this from Timothy and from other people. It's where so we have to be respected and categorized in a special way. Again, with the vendors, the food vendors, these people are talking about the street vendors. Why not? What all these marijuana stores are going up, illegal marijuana stores. If they talk
all right, Lenny.
Veterans get there. All right,
Lenny, we got to move on. But thank you for all the work you do with the homeless vets, Vietnam Vets Chapter 32, doing so much work. You're doing the coat drive now and gloves and so forth.
We're trying to.
Yeah,
trying to.
You'll get there. Thank you for. He dropped off coats today at my office, and I want to thank you again, Lenny. We're going to move on. Thanks, Len.
No problem. I'll talk to you soon.
You got to work on the lighting there. But
I'm sorry. All of a sudden it got dark.
Yeah, it's
okay. I know. It got dark.
Okay. Next panel. Next person on Zoom is Rabah Belkabir.
You may begin.
Rabah, you could we can hear you.
How's everybody?
Yes.
I'm not speaking now. I am so do you hear me?
Yeah, Rabah, your connection seems to be
How are you, Mr.
compromised. Yeah, we can hardly hear you. Breaking up. All right. We're going to circle back to you, Rabah. No, we're not hearing you well. It's breaking up. I guess it's the connection. Yeah, okay, try it again. No, we don't hear you. We're going to move on. Our next panel is Christopher Leon Johnson.
You may begin.
Hello, can you hear me?
We got you.
Hey, what's up, man? My name is Christopher Leon Johnson on the record. I'm here to testify in support of Intro 686 and Intro 687. I support my veterans, but the issue is that I know this bill's gonna go through, but the issue is that we need to make sure that a certain nonprofit that's been called out in 2023 for the FY24 budget hearing, which is called a Street Vendor Project, which is under the Urban Justice Center that gets a lot of government funding, does not be involved with this conversation. And the reason they should be involved is because of the fact that the Street Vendor Project, they don't advocate for veterans. They don't advocate for street vendors. They act like they advocate for street vendors, but they don't. All they do is they put street vendors in more danger than people think that they don't say they do. They put the street vendors in danger because what they do is they protect criminals. They protect the same people that the veterans was complaining about, like the people that have like 3 or 4 carts that park out 24 hours without washing themselves, don't take a shower, have dirty water and stuff like that. That's the reason why. We need to make sure that the Street Vendor Project does not get involved with this conversation. There's a lot of corruption that happens in the street vendor industry. There's a few people that could talk to you about that, like Raul Rivera. You should ask him about that because he's been out there fighting for this industry, fighting for the veterans. He's busy today. You should ask him, Bob, about the street vendors, what they go through. But there's a lot of corruption that goes on. And the big issue is that they got corrupt nonprofits like Street Vendor Project that protects these people. At the same time, you have like elected officials like Jennifer Ross Kumar, that who's a state assembly member that is known for taking money from certain people that protects those same vendors that be in Times Square, having about 3 or 4 carts, being protected by the police, don't get stopped by the police, while the veterans that has integrity and don't do pay for play or pay people off to stay in business, they get to do what they do. They get harassed. So there's a lot of corruption that goes on in this industry. The veterans go through a lot of dirty shenanigans, and I feel bad for them. I know that the city council is really weak to fix this issue with the veterans because majority of the city council, excluding the Common Sense Caucus, and Oswald Felice and Shauna Abreu, they don't care about the veterans at all. They only care about appeasing these nonprofits like the Street Vendor Project and appeasing corrupt elected officials like Sandy Nurse and Shahana Hanif and the Progressive Caucus. So people got to start calling out the crap that's happening in the city with the veterans. I thank you, Bob Holden, for having this hearing. I know that you and the members of the Common Sense Caucus are small compared
Thank
to
you.
this
Your time has
city
expired.
council. And I hope that this bills go through. But we need to support our veterans instead of supporting these criminals that the nonprofits that and the Progressive Caucus love to listen to. So thank you so much. About a lot, I got to go to an event. So take care, guys.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to circle back to Rabah.
You may begin.
Rabah, can you hear us? You can talk, Rabah. All right, he's having connection problems.
Hello.
Oh, here we go.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear some of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Rabbi, it doesn't look like it's working. If you could send us.
Sorry, I hope everybody's doing good. I'm in
No, it's not going to work. Rabbi, you could send us the testimony that
It's fine, Mr. Chairman. That's what.
we hear.
Okay,
Rabbi, we're hearing 2 words.
I will. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I
All
will.
right, thank you
I will
so
send it to
much.
Daniel. I will.
Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
All right, last call for Yu Chun Wu, Ed Shloman, Ronald Ledford, Bernard Wright, and Ryan Graham. Last call, anyone? Yu Chin Wu, Edward Shloman, Ronald Ledford, Bernard Wright, or Ryan Graham. Anyone on there, on the call? Okay. All right, thank you so much. And thank you all for a great hearing. And I want to thank all the panelists and anyone who testified. And again, my office will respond to any inquiries on this topic or other topics concerning veterans. Thank you so much. This hearing is adjourned.